Alright, we back. My expert opinion, the fastest growing podcast in the world.
We only like
Shout out to
number
the-
5, right?
We
Are we up to number 5 now?
last episode
we was
was-
7. No, I'm saying ranking because you said the fastest growing in the world.
right. Oh, we up to number 5.
I think we up to number 5 now. 'Cause
I
we
thought
was
we
number
still at
7
7.
before. No, I
I
think we
thought we
at
were
5.
still at 7.
I think we up 2 slots.
I think we up at 5
Could be,
now.
could be.
I gotta check it because y'all be on my head about this stuff, so I gotta check it. But we was number 7, and I believe we number 5 now.
Shout out to the subscribers. Hit that like, hit that share. Let everybody know you in here. Don't cost you no paper unless you's a mother hater. Shout out to everybody that's been watching the show, all the new subscribers. Thank you. Thank you. The support is overwhelming. Got my man ESSO in the building.
I done moved up. I got the chair next to Math now. I got a promotion, you heard me?
It's strategic, my nigga.
Nigga got a promotion in this bitch.
It's strategic. We got 2 cameras. I know if I sit you next to this nigga, it's only gonna be 1 view, bro. I know this. It's strategic. Mac, what up?
Salute, King. Respect.
Shout out to everybody in the building. Chaz, all the homies.
Everybody.
Great John, what up, bro?
Billy J was good. Billy J in the
Wagner
corner.
in the building.
Big Wagner.
What up, Nick?
What up, Matt?
Word. Yo, y'all don't know this, but I'm like kind of related, just a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, tell him.
You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
He ain't never say that before.
Nobody knew that.
Nah, I said that mad times. Y'all wasn't on those episodes.
That was before us.
Brand new
Pause.
news.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Brand new news.
He's never said it in no interviews.
Oh wow.
Neither have you. First time.
That's crazy. And y'all ain't got no song
Breaking
together, nothing. Well, you know what? Let's start the show. My bad.
It's coming soon.
There it is. Sean Bigger,
Man of God.
Man of God. Heineken. We still waiting. Still
Berg is
waiting.
like, he'll be one of the first guests. He's like, he'll bring some dots right off the jet. We spoke before the show started. Yeah. We go back 12,
Yo,
12, 13
I got a
years.
suggestion for the name of your segment. Radioactive slime. Just slime. Just
Radioactive.
I think Nori might call your phone.
Jesus,
Yeah.
He will. That's
Yeah.
the homie though. We
Yeah,
gonna be
he'd
all
be
right.
like, come on, Math. That's my
We gonna
shit,
be all
man.
right.
Yo, somebody called me and said that we need to have Will Smith on. And Kevin Hart. It's a lot of requests that's really going down right now. I think Will Smith would be a good one too, though.
I might need to train for that.
HB in the building. And Mecca. Ain't nobody walking.
Word, Mac, you gonna have to sit next to me, man, because
Y'all gotta stop.
if you get up on me, son, I'm just saying.
Come on, man.
I'm
We
just
got
saying.
love for Will
Shout out
Smith,
to Philly,
man.
man.
Y'all gotta stop.
Shout out to Charlie Mack too. Yo, we got somebody who is one of the most talented writers, producers, has been through the most turmoil, and you have to applaud the way he just doesn't stop.
That's facts.
It's like the Energizer bat on Bunny out
Bunny
here.
is
you
right.
know.
He keeps going and going
More
and
hits,
going and
more
going.
hits, more hits. Yo, we got Hitmaker in the building.
Oh! Yeah.
For sure.
Facts.
The god of the rebrand.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I had to hit my tag because everybody be like, who's actually saying that? Did you get somebody to say your tag? Like, nah, nigga, that's me.
Yeah, there it is.
Keeping all the
outside.
royalties. I respect it.
Nah,
Well,
man.
you know, I always look for interesting ways to start these.
Oh, man. See, I'm a fan, so go ahead.
Nah, I'm gonna keep it light though.
All right, cool.
When did you stop giving a fuck?
I think, man, I ain't gonna lie, like, I kind of came in, like, my journey, I kind of came in not giving a fuck, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the time, like, if niggas know, like, my whole transition, I started as Iceberg,
Right.
and I started in Chicago with, like, LEP and all these different niggas or whatever, and then from there, I transitioned to Youngberg. Eve actually named me Youngberg here in Quad Studios. Like, we was out here, and I went to the studio with Eve, and this was in an era when everybody was like, something Burgington or something Tin or Pop something or da-da-da, you know what I'm saying? And they used to call me Young Burgington, and that's what she was
shout
on.
Shout out to Quad, we was there last night.
For sure, for sure.
Shout out to Junior Reed, crazy shit coming soon.
Yes, sir.
But yeah.
So, I mean, giving a fuck, honestly, the switch for me as far as like from Youngberg to Hitmaker and not giving a fuck was really more so when nobody was fucking with me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like shit started happening shit was happening to me, I was like, I'm the victim in this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you turn your back on me? Because I never really faulted. Like, all my hits, every song I had as an artist, #1, 3 #1s in a row. You know what I'm saying? So some shit started happening to me, and then at that point, I was just like, you know what? They don't want the product from me. And I was thinking about like Frank Lucas with Blue Magic and all this other shit, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta figure out a way to spin this off. But a lot of niggas didn't know that I was writing and producing all my own records as an artist. So, but at that point, it wasn't like a big deal to be like, man, I was on ecstasy, I was getting so much pussy. I was just in a mode, like I'm 19, 20 years old, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been wanting this my whole life.
It was like an ecstasy era, I'm realizing.
It was.
Niggas is just, everybody was lit. Meth was in here talking about that shit.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, you said meth, like look, damn, to take it back, I was young, I went to LA to the crazy shit is this gay dude named Joe Exclusive who was Eve, a fucking stylist at the time. He knew LEP and the street niggas from Chicago, so we all flew out to LA to meet DMX and to do their showcase around us, whatever, and we went to What These Bitches Want from a nigga video shoot. And like I got there and like it was at the Paramount lot, in LA, and we in there and I'm just chilling and like the stylist introduced me to DMX, like DMX, this is Iceberg, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yo, shorty, I'm gonna go do this. And he opened his hand, there was a whole bunch of weed and that shit, and he had like 2 bitches with him. He like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be back. And he got on this trailer, and he came back, and they put me in a trailer, and he was like,
oh, we're not gonna ease past that. He made you roll up.
No, he rolled up, because I'm 13, I'm like 4'4". Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like a kid. Like, 13. So nigga, I was like 13 years old. Of weed. Yeah, he handed me some weed, and then he showed me his weed too. So, and I ain't gonna lie, like I was getting booted up then. Like I was smoking, drinking, the whole vibe at 13. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the nigga put me on the trailer, and he was like, yo, spit something for me. And I was like, I stick on up in the fit with the tent, smoking fam, so they hemp, y'all better repent because you fall, my brother get sent. I mean, I'm like on some Twister type shit, right?
You remember it?
Yeah, that's the exact rhyme that I spit for him or whatever. And he was like, hey, yo, shorty, I don't know what the fuck you just said. Oh, shit. So he like, slow it down for me, like, give me another one. And I was like, fuck the law, just bubble up and cut the raw. And when a tray cock back, get a bust your jaw, flooding my wrist. I'm sipping on a bucket of Chris, these nuggets, they glisten. Same niggas stuck at they bitch. So like, I was like a little young nigga, like spitting that type of shit, and the whole trailer went crazy. After that, he was like, shorty, I'm gonna sign you. It's not gonna be fast, but I'm gonna sign you. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, damn, you gotta think, like, I was a kid, so this is the year that he dropped the 2 albums in the same year. So, like, I just asked my dad to buy me Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood for Christmas, and now I'm in front of this nigga, you know what I'm saying, rapping for him. So bring it all the way back home to Method Man. This is the craziest thing ever. This how the stories come full circle. They put me in a car, like X was like, yo, shorty, we leaving. We finna go to the show. We going to Brandy's show. I'm like, oh, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. They put me in a car, X was driving, Method Man was in the front seat, Ali was in the back seat, and I was in the back seat with Ali. And I'm talking about this nigga X swung down a 405 like a fucking madman, nigga, swinging, swerving. Method Man was so high, he was in a motherfucking car like this in the front seat smoking like this was normal to them. And that was the first time me meeting Brandy, me meeting Ray J, but I was like literally like a kid, bro. And that's crazy, yo, for real, for real.
How does a 13-year-old end up in front of DMX?
So look, this is like the most outrageous, like my story might be the most like, I'm working on my doc now, like my story is one of the craziest stories ever. So I come from, my background, my parents are millionaires. Like I ain't never ate a hamburger, a hot dog, grilled cheese, nothing in between 2 pieces of bread. I've never like McDonald's, anything like that. Like niggas literally had like chefs like, yo, like you get what you want type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I fell in love with music because Shauna from Disturbing the Peace was my next door neighbor.
Shout out to Shauna.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know it. Her dad is Buddy Guy. And they been filthy. You know what I'm saying? From the jump, they was the first people I ever seen with the Ray J move, the indoor pool, outdoor pool move. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see what she posted today?
That's my sister, my brother.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah. So she
been racked up.
Now, come on. Radioactive.
Radioactive. Come on, go on, Hitmaker. You know me.
I know him. Yeah. So, so Shauna, it kind of like inspired me, and I fell in love with music. I fell in love with rap, and like instead of like taking the path of being like the kid that was like 16 with a permit and a Range Rover, I was the kid that ran away from my house, and I was in the streets like spitting crack rocks out my mouth, serving the junkies or whatever. Cause like this is the era when you really had to live your raps. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I was the biggest drug dealer and shoot 'em up, bang bang nigga in my raps. So that led me to go to the streets, and that led me to meet my mentor Bugs, who's right hand with Kanye. That led me to meet No ID. That led me to meet Kanye. That led me to meet Ice Drake. All these niggas that are like the guys in Chicago, and from there, like some street niggas, LEP, shout out to them, you know what I'm saying? Like they end up taking me around, and they was the biggest street niggas in the game. And shit, they introed me like that.
Wow.
So you Young Berg, right?
When? At that moment or right now?
What's the transition?
Iceberg.
No, hold
Iceberg,
on. So wait. Parents millionaires. And how did you make the decision to go sell drugs?
Man, I was bad, bro. Like I was getting kicked out of school. Like I was rebellious. Like the hip hop shit. Like you got to think this is DMX. This is early Jay-Z. This shit had a hold on me. This is the Locks. This Rough Riders. Right. Like this shit. Like it just entered my spirit. Like and I never loved school. You know what I'm saying? Like I dropped out of school in 9th grade. Like for real. Like I don't got no GED. I don't got none of that shit or whatever. Like I just love music. Like I just dialed into music immediately, and from like 12 to now, my music has been my entire life.
Wow, you made that decision early.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
Hell yeah.
Was Shauna the one bringing you around? Did she like,
early,
I hear the street life, but where did the intro to...
See...
Oh, hold on, I want to go a little bit deeper into the street life.
Okay.
Of course you do.
Your first time selling crack.
Right.
How did it happen?
I used to be on 70th and Winchester. Shout out to Blue. Shout out to everybody that was in that section or whatever. And shit, like I just I'm just following what my niggas is doing. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas is getting money. Shout out to Elo. Like I was actually staying in a house with my niggas or whatever. Like I ran away. Like my parents never wanted me to do music. Like you got to think like. For them to be so up and so high up, they never wanted me to do music. They never, like, they wanted me to be in school. They wanted me to be straight narrow. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, man, fuck that shit. And we were living in the suburbs, so I just transitioned and moved and ran away from home and went to the inner city.
Did your homies know that your parents was millionaires?
Yeah, everybody knew.
Who gave you the pack?
I bought it on my own because my parents were millionaires.
They never tried to kidnap you and hold you for ransom.
But my question is, how did you get to the hood? Like y'all talking about the crack.
Okay, so look.
How'd you get? You out there with the million? How'd you get there?
This what you gotta understand, and I'm sure that everybody like my parents ain't no square SpongeBob niggas. You know what I'm saying? They just made a better way for me. You know what I'm saying? In my early life, and they from the hood. Like my parents is from the hood, but it just so happened my dad became the director of child public schools. You know what I'm saying? In Chicago, he owned hella real estate. He put my mom on. My mom became like a mogul with like child care centers and stuff like that or whatever. So they from the hood, but by the time that I was born, they was already up. You know what I'm saying? So like they made it through. It was really the American dream. You know what I'm saying? I just landed, you know what I'm saying, into this shit.
Wow.
Bug, your parents ran child care centers, and their son runs to the hood to sell crack
drugs
after they already made
like
it was
so crazy to the point that like I remember back in the day, like when my mom like had all our child care centers, like you know how like So Def had the billboard in Atlanta, like where it's like you get off the plane in Atlanta, like we had billboards all over the city, and like my face was on it, and I was the guy like from the child care centers, whatever, and it just evolved into me like going on some street shit.
Well, that goes to show, like, you know, as much as parents would like to have a control on what their kids do, bruh, they're going to make their own decisions. And you made your own decision.
And you want to know what's so fucked up? Now that I'm, like, this conversation really done inspired it and, like, maybe say it like, man, like, that's why I don't really judge the kids right now. You know what I'm saying? With this drilling shit and all the other shit, like, music made me want to go sell crack, nigga, and sell drugs because I was so influenced by the music, and it was nothing but, you know what I'm saying, that era, you know what I'm saying, that golden era, that late 90s, early 2000s era, you know what I'm saying, the music that I grew up on. It was like, yo, if you wasn't selling crack, you wasn't on shit. You wasn't that. So the music influenced me. So as much as I look, like, I feel bad for it, you know, because where the kids is, like, I'm a reflection of that shit too. Like when you hear niggas talking about spin the block, do this, blah, 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 it kind of poison you. Like, it's just that we in a bad era of this shit right now. Like, y'all can't tell me that when Jeezy was when in his heyday, every dope boy wanted to get in the car and go make a play to some young Jeezy.
Fact.
Even if it was a dime bag, nigga, to a fucking brick, nigga, you felt like you was moving like that.
True story. The night that I listened to Thug Motivation 101, I woke up in a crack spot.
How'd you end up in a crack spot? Oh.
Wow.
Oh,
You remember
shit.
that?
Oh, shit.
He's looking away.
Crazy.
How'd you end up in a crack spot, though?
Bruh, it was just the course of the night.
No,
The
no, no.
Same way he ended up with crack
and
in
then
his
I
mouth.
ended up in the crack. But I mean,
Music is-
not to say I wasn't like
Music
and
is
shit like that,
influential.
Yeah.
but my niggas just, you know what I mean? Like
I
50
got you.
Cent was my theme music to a lot
Got
of
you.
bullshit that I was doing. You know what I mean?
And niggas be twirling.
Did your parents not say forgive you, but like as you attain all this success, what was their energy? Did they feel like, damn, even though you're successful, you kind of like really fucked us up?
We should have trusted
I
him.
wasn't successful yet. So when I meet DMX or whatever, this is what happens. I get to deal with DMX. So this, I'm telling the craziest story since we here and like, I'm gonna give y'all the whole truth. So I was signed to the niggas, right? That was in Chicago, LEP.
LEP,
And it was a nigga that was like the main nigga, the CEO of the shit on some Suge Knight shit or whatever, but he had the bag so fucking, man, I ain't gonna lie, like we had offers from everybody. Like I had an offer from Rockefeller, I had an offer from DMX, I had an offer from Tommy Boy. This when Tommy Boy still existed. I ain't gonna lie, like when Tommy Boy and Tom Silverman and all them was in there, like we acted like I wasn't an artist and because it was a conglomerate of us and everybody went performed and like when my song came on last, I got on my back and slid under the white lady chair and all the other shit and came up from under her chair rapping or whatever. Like they offered us the big bag. So but it was through that company. But DMX didn't want to fuck with them. He just wanted me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, shorty, fuck them niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's me and you.
Right.
So when I got back to Chicago after the bidding war and like after Hove and everybody wanted to be involved with me and shit, like this nigga got on some real Suge Knight shit. Like, and he was on some like, this is a real life story. So we get
X.
This is why LEP. This I go back to Chicago now while they doing that, and I'm still a kid. So like the CEO of the company, we in the studio. He go in the studio and he get in the booth like, "Shorty, your mama a bitch," and fucking da 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 da, and bust nuts in her face and this, that, and the third and blah blah. And I'm like, yo, this shit mad weird. So I go in the booth after him and like, this nigga mad DMX want to sign me. Something blah, blah, blah. Like it was like we was battling each other. Yeah. But then that like when I come out the booth, the nigga like threw me over this shit like on some Suge Knight shit or whatever and like pushed me in a room like, I own you, nigga. Write a rap. And I'm like, what? Boom, boom. Nigga started beating me up as a kid, you know what I'm saying? And like the guys like Bugs and all the people I work with, they kick in the door and they like, get them off me. And that's how I got out of my contract with LEP. Wow. Cause they put hands on me, you know what I'm saying? Like the nigga, and I was a kid. So
how old were you when this happened?
It's like 13, 13, yeah.
So was he doing this because he felt like you were gonna leave and go fuck with
he felt like I was his son. So you know when you see, like now that I'm older, like, and I've made people's dreams come true and seen shit come to fruition, he really felt like he was like,
Baby and Lil Wayne.
Exactly.
Right.
So, like, even to the point prior to that, when Eve named me Young Berg or whatever, we were in quad, like I was saying earlier, and like DMX pulled up the quad. He heard I was in New York. Like Eve had told him. So he like, X was like, the X on the way up here. And I was with the niggas, and they pulled me in the bathroom. They like, nigga, we gonna kill your mama and your daddy. You act like you wanna fuck with this nigga. And I was like, what? And I was a kid, like, you know what I'm saying? So like, this was some real, like...
You ain't believe it, though.
Hell yeah, I did. What you talking about? These niggas was official. Like, they the reason I had anything. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, damn, like, I was thrown off by that whole shit or whatever, but you know, he lost his bearings, and once he ended up doing that whole little incident after the fact, putting hands on me or whatever, I went back, told my parents, and then I went and signed my first record deal with DMX. I signed a Bloodline. They gave me like $500,000, like damn near $100,000 in my pocket. X, I knew about the bullshit that happened with the guys, so X moved me to Edgewater, New Jersey, and I lived out there, whatever. And the nigga
So what happened when you told your parents?
I told my dad. I was really like at that point, like my parents had divorced. So my dad became like my best friend and like my manager. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody, my businessman, whatever, just in my corner type shit. And my dad was like, he's just a real nigga. Like, oh, you got some money coming in from this shit? Like, even though your mama don't want you to do it, fuck it. I'ma let you go do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so,
when you told your dad what happened between...
Oh no, it was up. It was smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like my brother burnt down their buildings. They tried to kill my brother behind this shit. Like this is a real like movie story. You know what I'm saying? Like all this shit went bad behind this shit. Wow. So
what network is trying to get your life story? Hulu or Netflix?
Nah, it's a few. Shout out my dog Colton. It's a few in the air. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole story is finna go crazy. But yeah, so that happened. And then shit, like I said, I ended up moving to Edgewater, New Jersey, and DMX gave me a dog, and that was it.
What would you name the dog?
I don't even remember what the dog name was, because the nigga just was like, hey, yo, shorty, I think his dog, you know Boomer, the tattoo he got on his back? His dog had babies. So like I was living at his man's crib at first, Butler, who was close to DMX or whatever.
Boomer passed away. This had to be another dog.
No. Well, I guess, I don't know. There's something in the bloodline or whatever from, you know, because you can name the record label Bloodline. So I don't know if it was from the same bloodline of dogs, but he gave me like the baby from, you know what I'm saying, one of his dogs or whatever. And he was like, yo, shorty, I want to ever see you without a dog. Like, take the dog everywhere. The dog's a dog. I'm like, all right, nigga. Like, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, even early today, I'm riding with my business partner Billy J early, and I'm like, damn, that's the old Def Jam building right there, the Universal building that used to be like off 8th Ave or whatever. I'm like, oh shit,
50th and 8th,
bro. That nigga, I used to have a dog in that bitch, bro. Like I'm talking about the dog be shitting in front of Leo's office. DMX was so lit, nigga. They would say nothing to me, bro. And I used to go to Def Jam. I used to be with Murder Inc. with Ja and them. I used to shoot dice with them niggas all day, smoke blunts with them niggas. My weed man would pull up with me. That's when they had them glass jars with the weed inside of it.
The weed man was Hakeem.
Yep, Hakeem
was the
light
weed
skinned boy
man.
with the freckles or whatever. He used to deliver all the weed to us or whatever. And I used to just get drunk and high in the studio. I mean, excuse me, in the office and just go up. I remember Jazz Young.
How old were you at this
13, bro.
Def Jam was a party up in there. We used to have mad fucking fun in there. They didn't stop you from smoking. If the security came while we were smoking, Leo would be like, get the fuck out of there. They making all the money downstairs. Let them smoke.
Kevin Lyles never said anything?
Let them niggas making money, you let them niggas smoke. They let Murder Inc., Rockefeller, Bloodline, whoever, y'all niggas could do whatever, nigga. You come in there, it was bitches in there. It was a party in there. Niggas woke up every day with like, I'm coming to the label.
Nah, it was like that because it was like Rock, Murder Inc., Bloodline, and then Rough Riders. And I just think that niggas just used to be like, man, we going to Def Jam building. Like, it's up. Like, that shit was up. It was headquarters, literally.
It was crazy, yo.
Shout out to Jazz Young.
Jazz was there.
That's my OG.
My big sister.
Shaka started out there. I hope Shaka's doing well. Shaka was doing radio back then. That was before he brought Luda in.
For sure. Hell
remember? Because he worked Luda's record, and that's how Luda came and got the deal with Def Jam. It was crazy.
Yeah, I remember them moments. Like yesterday.
You never put out anything on Bloodline.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yo, so that's what the shit that went viral. I think probably like 4 or 5 years ago, like I was promoting one of my singles when I was working with Atlantic, and I went and did an interview with Complex or whatever, and I told them how DMX stole my first piece of pussy. Have y'all heard that story?
No.
Yeah, hold on. I remember pieces of this story.
Yeah. So
run it back.
Give us more details,
so
more ignorance.
I was a virgin at the time, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, man. So DMX brought me
13, right?
Yeah, like
okay.
so DMX brought me to Toronto, Canada. He was shooting the movie Exit Wounds with Steven Seagal or whatever, and we were up there, and I'm talking about they was treating DMX like the mayor of Canada. Like, I never seen no shit like this. Like, When we did the song Do You, it was on Funk Master Flex album. Irv Gotti, it's my first time meeting Irv Gotti too. He came to Toronto or whatever, he produced the record. And fucking like, this nigga X had like the illest shit going on. Like, we had police escorts. The police go back to the hotel and grab 2 pounds of weed for X, bring it to the studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was up there, he was living crazy. So we went to the club one night, and it's my first time really in a club, but you know, like, I was playing a different level than X, because you know X loved to play pool. So like everybody was surrounding him, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a part of the entourage. They took me upstairs and had me just on a little vibe or whatever. So I ended up meeting a little chick, you know what I'm saying? So I'm in there, and it's time for everybody to go. You know, they filing out with X. I'm grabbing, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Come with me. I get in the car, it's my first time finger fucking a girl, you know what I'm saying? Scratching, sniff, smell what the pussy like. I'm like, yeah, it's going down.
How old was this chick?
Way older than me. She was in a club. So I'm sure it wasn't no 18-year-old club that DMX is at. You know what I'm saying?
So how did you get to the finger pop?
Because we in the back seat of the whip now. You know, I'm a part of the entourage. I'm the young boy, so like I pulled her in and then she with me and we in the back seat, you know what I'm saying? I'm grabbing titties, you know what I'm saying? Grabbing ass, kissing on it, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I was loaded. I told you I was already on the liquor. I was already on the weed, the whole shit, bro. Like it was a whole movie. Like,
but it's still your first time?
I was little DMX, bro. You gotta understand, like I was DMX's protege. It wasn't like I was the little dog, you know? So to me, it was kind of like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It was my time.
Right.
Yeah, and fucking, I never forget, we were staying at the Sutton Place Hotel. I don't know if that shit still exists in Canada and Toronto now. We get back there, me and DMX, we on the penthouse floor. Like he put me in a room right next to him or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So you know like how you get to the penthouse floor and like the big room got the double doors that's all the way at the end of the hallway. Well, my room right next to his. So he, you know, when you get to the hotel, the artist goes up first with the security and the entourage wait, you know what I'm saying? Let him get settled. So I get up there and the nigga X wasn't even around me. Like X was in his room already. Like I might have waited like 15 minutes. Like I might have smoked a cigarette, you know what I'm saying? Like wild out in front of the hotel with the bitch. And I get to my room and I'm literally like putting a key card in my room. And a nigga X door swing over. I'm like, he like, yo, Shorty, you good? I'm like, yeah. He like, hey, Ma, I think you left your purse in my room. Now, mind you, we met these bitches at the club. She never been to his room. They never been to the hotel or nothing. And she was like, I think I did.
She's scum, yo.
She made a beeline around me. He looked at me like, Shorty, I'll talk to you later, Shorty. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Closed the door and took my first piece of pussy.
She ever found her purse?
What stopped you from saying, no, she didn't?
Nigga was my idol, bro. I just told you I had my dad buy me flesh and my flesh, blood and my blood for Christmas. Wow. Like that was on my Christmas list of gift. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I want this CD. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
this must have been amazing for you to go from listening to this music to being in the mix of it.
It happened
and
fast.
And being like taken in by the hottest artists in the world at the time.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, my demo was so fire. Like Bugs, No ID, and Kanye West did my demo. Like I was rapping on the Jesus Walks beat on my demo before it became Jesus Walks with Kanye.
So you motivated Kanye to do Jesus?
No, I did not. That's we not running with that. I was the young boy, but you know how back in the day niggas had beat CDs or whatever, and my mentor Bugs happened to have a bunch of beat CDs with all Kanye beats. So it was the beat for Jesus Walks was on my demo, and then Talib Kweli, his first collaboration with Kanye, it was like Wanna Be Good to You or something like that. That beat was on my demo. Like I had all heat from No Idea. Like I was rapping over all these different beats, and that's how I kind of got on.
I rapped on 2 Kanye beats.
Nah, for sure. Shout out to Ye.
Them Ye beats be making it around, boy.
This is when Free was managing him.
So did Ye take a likeness to you because you was from Chicago, or he never even knew about it?
Of course, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he knew what the vibes was. And then, I ain't gonna lie, when I got my deal with DMX, I actually had a session with Ye. And like Ye came to my session, played me a bunch of shit, gave me new beats, gave me new vibes or whatever. But I think it was a weird time for Ye, cause like this is before Ye got on as a rapper, you know what I'm saying, trying to find his way. And then me not working with LEP and them no more, my mentor Bugs, who taught me how to be a producer, was still with them. So like I was like a fish out of water myself. Like, you know, I just got a record deal and I'm just a rapper. I'm used to my producer telling me this beat, yo, what you just said right there, that's the hook. Let's do this, whatever. Or let's throw bars together for the hook. And yo, short, you know what I'm saying? Just
So
a
now you on
mentor
your
in the
own.
studio. Yeah, so I was just no DMX in the studio, no nothing, just having a budget with 500 grand and just, you know what I'm saying, vibed out. You know what I'm saying? Studio time, trying to figure it out, but no type real direction, you know?
Amazing, bro. Like, how?
I mean, they was giving a lot of money away back then, man. And a lot of people was getting deals. They was getting publishing deals with no placements. I got big draws, a fucking publishing deal for like 500 grand. And we had prospective placements and we didn't even get nothing placed until fucking Destiny Child like 2 years later.
It's crazy.
Real
Nah, the
shit.
bags
And
was
you,
big
you could
back
be
then,
living
yeah.
off of money back then, off the perspective. He's gonna be a star. I'll give him $2 million.
I'm not even gonna take that much credit for it. I think that DMX was that hot back then that when he did his label deal for Bloodline, it was already etched in stone. Like how I do my label deal right now, whatever, I know that my artist is gonna get this advance, it's already laid out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can sign these many artists with this type of, you know what I'm saying, funding, this overhead, you know what I'm saying? It's,
Right.
it's laid out in your contract when you do your label deal. So I think that was just the
You were just
fucking blessing
fortunate.
of just being
Right.
with, around
Were
DMX.
you learning the business at this time?
Fuck
also?
no. I just told you I was getting drunk, drinking tequila, nigga, with a dog and smoking blunts and cigarettes everywhere. What are you talking about? I was little DMX.
Yo, this is crazy.
I mean, shit.
So when you came out of Bloodline, what was next?
No. How did you come out of Bloodline?
Oh shit. So like, damn. So I remember my last great experiences with X. We was in Toronto and like I never seen a nigga do this. This nigga X, we was in a studio session, he drunk 2/5 of Remy Grand Cru. Like by himself, 2/5. Like in a one studio session, and we left out, shout out to Shira, I just spoke to her recently or whatever. We left out with his wife, with the gang or whatever, and like niggas left his keys to his car, to his Benz that he had inside the studio. The nigga was so in his bag, and he's such a dog that the nigga was like, hey, yo, leave me the fuck alone real quick. Nigga laid down, was like, was crying like a dog, nigga, and just went to sleep, nigga, on a corner, nigga, by his car, nigga, on the sidewalk or whatever. And niggas was like, you don't wake up the dog when he's sleeping. Boy, we stayed out there for like 5 hours while that nigga just slept by his Benz, nigga, the whole shit. And like, that was the last memory. So I didn't have no producer. So I left Toronto.
So being that he was your idol, when you saw that, in your mind, was you like, nah, I'm not doing that shit?
No, this is DMX. He's a dog, nigga. What are you talking about? Like, this is not, he's the dog.
Everybody's following
Like
the
somebody
rules.
stopped you
like-
and said, you don't wake up the dog.
And he's cool with that.
They dead ass serious said that. You do not wake up the dog when he sleep, boy. The whole crew, nigga, the same way. We just strolled in here with all my peoples and my niggas, boy. We sat out there and wait till that nigga woke up. Ain't nobody leave, nigga. It was
I
right
never
there.
heard. That's crazy.
Rest in peace to X.
Nah, hell yeah.
Given that we know the history now of like the drug abuse and all that stuff,
I never knew.
you never saw
Never
it.
seen it.
He never did it in front of you.
Liquor and weed. You know he used to have his blood. He called it blood. This back when niggas was still drinking Alizé. He would mix the Remy with the Alizé and a water bottle and call that shit blood. And that's like, you know what I'm saying, how I went. So from there, I go back to Edgewater, New Jersey, and I was just lost in the sauce, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love music, but I didn't have a producer. I was just a rapper at the time. You know what I'm saying? Taken up out of that, like, and then also to sprinkle it in. Like, I did, if y'all want to go check it out while y'all watching, it's called Dog for Life, me featuring DMX. It was on the Exit Wound soundtrack.
Right.
We did that while we was in Toronto or whatever. And, like, y'all go listen to that shit, because I sound like a fucking chipmunk on that shit. Like, I sound like a kid, like, for real, for real. So,
Did the label get dropped or?
No. Look, I'm gonna tell you. So I go back to Chicago, back to LEP, to all the niggas that I went through all that bullshit with, because my mentor, Bugs, was the producer. And I couldn't really make music without him. So I swallowed the bullet like, man, yo, nigga, we went through our trial and tribulation. You know, niggas gonna fight regardless, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago, like, you know what I'm saying? I done seen niggas throw hand and break a nigga jaw and be friend with a nigga, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
after the fact. But I was thinking for my career, like, I knew it clicked to me, like, this ain't going far without me having no producer or somebody to show me how to do my shit.
Right.
So I went back to work with Bugs. It's in the era of two-way pages and Scottail. I had that shit. And I went back, and my mom and them got word that I went back or whatever, and I was back in Chicago. So my mom was always very fearful for me, you know what I'm saying, overprotective. And one day I'm
You must have gave her like 80 heart attacks.
Word.
I'm sure, and I love my mom to this day. All this shit, we not even close. Like all, I'm
Even to this day?
No, I don't have a real relationship with my mother at all.
Even with your success?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep telling y'all this shit. So from there, I'm at the studio with LEP and all them, and my mom is blowing up my pager. Hit me like, yo, I wanna see you, let's go to Red Lobster. This back when Red Lobster was a thing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it was like, yo, like, all right, let's go. So I'm like, nah, I don't wanna go to Red Lobster, but I'm about to go back to my crib in New Jersey. You could take me to the mall, cause I wanna buy some stuff for myself, cause I had the bag, like I had a couple dollars. So she come pick me up from the studio with LEP and them niggas. And the studio used to be on 72nd and Halston in Chicago. And we ride and we going to the mall, and my mom getting all these mysterious phone calls. Hello? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be parked by the Walgreens on this, that, and the third. I'm like, who are you talking to? And she like, no, I just got remarried. I'm talking to my new husband. But mind you, I lived in Jersey. She got remarried. I didn't know the nigga or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? So I just took it for what it was worth. I go in the stores, buy my clothes. I come out. And like, she had a little BMW at the time, and like two big Samoan niggas is about a BMW. So they like, she like, Chris, meet them. And he like, yeah, what's up, Chris? How you doing? Da, da, da. We hear you do music. And I'm like, yeah, you know, nigga, I'm Iceberg. What's up, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. They like, she like, Chris, you gotta go to school. She go jump in her car, lock the door, nigga, pop the trunk. Motherfucking this bag's packed and all type of shit or whatever. Now I'm fighting in the middle of the parking lot with the Samoan niggas. They pulling the bags out the trunk or whatever, throwing them in another bag. They throw like the plastic cuffs on me, nigga. My mom skirt off like, skirt. And now I'm in the back of a fucking car with two Samoan niggas I never met in my life, nigga, and they just driving me somewhere. So now I'm cuffed up. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
But to your understanding, who were they?
I don't know these niggas. I don't know nothing.
Were they truancy?
No,
Were they what?
no,
What the fuck were they?
I don't know. I just walked out the mall and met two niggas. So from there, we riding. We get to like downtown Chicago. So I'm thinking like maybe she put me in like a boarding school. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think. Well, I don't know what's going on. Downtown Chicago. Now damn, we at O'Hare Airport. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So we going through that. We going through TSA. So mind you, like the two big Samoan dudes got their hands on me. And while I'm going through TSA, I get through TSA and it's a black lady there. And she like, why you got your hands on that boy like that? I'm like, I don't know these niggas. Snatch away, run. I run into a dead end on some bullshit. So at that point, I'm just like, man, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? They had all the paperwork or whatever. So my mom has signed all her parental rights away to like some crazy boarding school, like concentration camp shit. So from there, I flew from Chicago to Las Vegas. On a flight from Las Vegas, they gave me the letter and I opened it up and it's my mom basically saying like, yo, you're now a product of this little concentration school shit. I don't have nothing to do with it, blah, blah, you in these people's hands now. I get there, I fly to Spokane, Washington, and from there they drive me to Thompson Falls, Montana. And I'm in this fucking concentration camp type shit, you know what I'm saying? And like where they cut me off from the world. No TV, no radio, no nothing. They were paying $5,000 a month for me to stay there. And like it's a bunch of kids.
When you say that, your pops was in on this?
My pops wasn't fucking with me because I ran away. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't give him nothing to fight against. You know what I'm saying? He like, nigga, you ain't put me on in no game. So shit, your mama wanna do this, nigga. It is what it is, nigga. You did that. Right. So now I'm in this concentration camp type shit and fucking it's kind of like you couldn't look at girls. Like they start you out at level 1. So when you come in at level 1, and this how they played me too. Like they did a whole group assembly when I got to the shit. And they like, yeah, we hear you're a rapper. I'm like, yeah, you know, I rap. You know what I'm saying? But I'm signing DMX. So they got all the whole facility there. And they like, yo, you're a level 1. We're gonna make you a level 2 if you go jump in this swamp infested water right now with this alligator. And da 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 da. I'm like, what the fuck? So when you level 1, you don't got no salt, no pepper. Like they strip you from everything. You already can't watch TV. You can't listen to they cut you off from the whole world. So like I went in there, jumped in a pond. They like screamed for like a 30 seconds. Ah! I'm screaming and that shit. They removed the whole fucking facility away from that shit and pulled me out of that. Like, you're nothing here. We don't give a fuck about you being famous and this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. Took me to the shit. I was acting up there. Like, so when you act up there, they send you to some shit called worksheets to where you just sit and stare at a wall for 6 hours and you can't eat nothing or whatever. They strip you of all the food or whatever. When you fuck up there, they send you to some shit called the Hobbit. And the Hobbit is just like a blank fucking bed of just wood. They feed you 3 meals a day. The first meal is a bagel. The second meal is a piece of bread with a cheese on it. And the third meal is a lima bean burrito. You fuck up at the Hobbit, they send you to Jamaica. It's called High Impact, which I actually had.
Jamaica, the country?
Yes, which I had a pleasure to visit because I was fucking up everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And I had to walk with a 100-pound brick on my back for 100 laps. The lap was a mile to get sent back to where I was.
All right, during this time, who are you in contact with?
Nobody, nigga. They cut me off in the world. I ain't know 9/11 happened. I ain't know Aaliyah died. I ain't know nothing, nigga.
Yo.
Oh, God. So, like, while you in this concentration camp, and y'all could pull this shit up, it was called Spring Creek Academy. If you Google it now, they got all type of fucking child molestation. They had to shut the shit down. Like, nigga, the feds came and shut this shit down. Like, this like some movie type shit.
But
like,
they never got you.
Hell no. So I'm in that shit. You never know everything. I was cut off from the world. So I couldn't talk to my parents until I worked my way up to a certain level. I couldn't do this, that, and the third. You get there and there's some 10-year-old nigga that been in the fucking camp since he was 7 that's a higher level than you. Like, pussy, sit up, 50 push-ups. Then I ain't like, get your little lame ass away. You know what I'm saying? So it sets you up to act out. And meanwhile, while you acting out, your parents are in a seminar as well where they have other people that have kids from the camp where their moms and dads are like basically telling them this is the best thing you ever did for your child. Like blah, blah, blah. So they paying all this money monthly. It was a lot of us in that shit, you know what I'm saying? And out the blue, like, I ain't gonna lie, my dad just came and got me on some shit. Like, man, like, fuck that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kind of went against my mom, like, you know what I'm saying? Because these people were doing people dirty. Like, you'll be in this program for so long, and like when you turn 18, you get out the program, but your exit plan could be like $50 in a bus ticket. And that's just it, nigga.
And you just there.
Yeah, I ain't know 9/11 happened. I ain't know nothing. I was cut off
Was it
from
like
the whole
a school
world.
or anything in that shit?
You know, schoolish.
Yeah, schoolish.
Yeah.
From what
How
year
long
to
were you
what
there?
year? Yeah.
I was there for like almost a year. I was there for like 10 months, and my dad came and got me. Like, I'll never forget it. He came and got me, and this shit like a movie. He took me to like Target or Best Buy, some shit like that or whatever. I bought Nas, I bought the Blueprint, and I bought Nas album. I forget, Got Yourself a Gun, whatever Nas album that was, or whatever, with one mic and all that Still Matter. I bought them, and I didn't know Aaliyah died. Remember, I was with DMX, nigga. Aaliyah
was
tatted
listening
on
to
the
that
back
shit
of my neck. Yeah, like,
yo, what?
Hold on, you was there.
Aaliyah.
Toronto when they were shooting.
The ethers on that shit.
Aaliyah was at the What These Bitches Want From a Nigga video shoot. She was one of the nicest women I ever met in my life. She was there with X, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I didn't know none of this shit had happened. And like, I just went from having a record deal to be stripped from all that shit, and my dad came and got me, and that's kind of how I like left that, and that's how I lost my deal with DMX.
Is this the reason that you and your mother don't have a good relationship?
It's a layer of the cake.
Was there any appreciation for that?
On my end,
Yeah.
now being an adult, looking back,
being 13,
Yeah.
drinking, smoking, all over the, you know what I mean?
You
like
were wild.
for a parent,
Yeah.
for a parent, that's a nightmare, bro. That's like,
looking back on
what the hell?
perspective, she might have, saved my life indirectly because of the
agree.
people that I was around.
You were rolling with criminals. You like criminals, like big criminals. You dealing drugs, you drinking, you smoking.
And finger popping holes in the backseat.
Yeah, in a hotel with $500,000.
You
like,
and DMX, he's sleeping by the car,
just drunk as shit.
stealing your bra.
Listen, nigga, I'm sold. When is the documentary coming out, bro? Let me say When is it coming out, son?
It makes
That shit
We working. It's
it
work in
makes-
progress.
It is incredible.
Because when you was going, we're jumping ahead, but we're gonna go back. When you were going through everything you was going through as young Berg, always in the news, I'm like, this a lot of trolling and trauma. And I'm like, how come he ain't take his own life? Real shit, the amount of shit you going through. Yeah, nigga, you went through a lot of shit.
We done seen people,
Man, I don't-
stab
Niggas take their
themselves.
life for less.
Yo, niggas in the industry done stabbed themselves in the eyes, but been
Oh
committed
yeah,
to
so that artist.
Yeah.
That artist.
Nigga stabbed himself in the
yeah.
back.
Let's keep going through the story, man. I got tough skin.
I
built for this
that's
shit.
what I'm
You know what I'm
saying.
saying? I'm tough as leather.
What
You've been
happened?
mentally
for
tough.
sure.
But for your mom, we're to the point we're talking about. Your mother? She was justified in doing what she did at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't the flyest thing in the world. I think maybe she could have talked to you, but I'm not sure.
She gotta talk to him.
Yeah, just listening to the story you told us, I don't know what gets through to a kid that's got $500,000 but doing
At
all this
14.
fucked up shit at 13, 14.
14,
Like,
yeah.
you might take some drastic measures if you think you're saving your son's life.
Yeah, I mean, it's all based on perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, now that I'm older, like, I think that if I was 35 and I was fucked up, then I might even hold, you know what I'm saying, a bigger grudge. But like, I'm 35 and I'm up. So it's like, you can look back and be like, you know what? That saved my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at that moment, as a kid, being signed to my idol and this, that, and the third,
You
it
was
was like,
pissed.
are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
But you, on the other side of that, you getting beat up in studios by grown men and jumping
But
you in the,
see,
in
but
the
look,
booth.
see, but don't categorize it like that. I think that when you're around a certain crew or whatever, and you around niggas,
That's
you
how
gonna
they-
have fights, nigga. Like,
Your-
that's
your
just what it
parents-
is.
Your
You know what I'm
parents ain't
saying?
fucking with that. That logic don't work on
But
a
that's how
parent.
they communicate.
They
Like,
they
no, bro,
already
part of the
didn't, they didn't
game.
understand me from the jump. I told you I was selling crack already before all this shit didn't happen. So
Which
they
is
didn't
another
understand where I was
reason
going.
to call it. Like, I look at how I'm not a parent. I look at how protective Math is over his daughters. You even say daughter and put some
and my
foul
sons.
shit behind it. No, I'm just like, I've seen. You know what I've seen
Right.
how he gets down.
Right.
I can't imagine him hearing that his son got jumped in the studio by some grown-ass men over some record deal shit, and he don't look at him. Just look at his face.
But you heard what he said. His
I told
brothers,
you,
his pops,
buildings burnt
They
down.
burnt down the building.
Fights happened.
It was
This is
not-
this
it
is
was
not
shit.
a thing.
It was
Shit
shit.
wasn't
Yeah,
like that.
They
tried to kill him.
Your mother's not going to react the way your father and your son
True.
will. Your
True.
mother's gonna do
Yeah.
something
True.
different. Your father's gonna call the
True.
boys and unleash the dogs
True.
of war. Your
Right.
mother, she only got so many alternatives, and that, for her,
Yeah.
had to seem like
Yeah, when your moms can't control you, it's
yeah.
different, bro.
Man, I'm so glad all this shit happened. You know what I'm saying? Just to be right here to be having a conversation, you know?
My mom's had me. It was either SparFit or I had to see a psychiatrist from like 13 to like 16.
No, I did all that shit too. Like, nigga, before I got my record deal, nigga, I was in juvie, I was in all that shit. Like, my mom sent me to juvenile hall. Like, nigga, like, all that shit. Like, I was a bad kid. Like,
Right.
for real. Like,
Right.
every, like, school, kicked out of the whole shit. Like,
But
you know
what
what I'm
was
saying?
it about that life that you just felt like I need to reject this?
I ain't
'Cause I'm
gonna
sure
lie.
if you
I
have-
don't,
you have
I don't
kids
wanna,
now.
I don't, no, hell no. But I gave my whole life to this music business. I don't have no kids. I don't have nothing. I don't have no personal life. Like, to be here, I'm working on that. This is gonna be the next chapter of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, but man, I feel bogus for saying this shit, but I'm gonna be 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched an older sibling of mine be like a titty baby. You know what I'm saying? To where, like, he was on my mama, like, he would fuck up so many times and he would do this shit. He was older than me, but he was like the mama's boy and this, that, and the third. And once my parents divorced, I hated seeing my mom with other men. So, like, I rebelled so much and it just drove me to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna be like my older brother. I don't need you for shit. I don't care about how much money y'all got. I'm gonna go get it my own way.
Yeah.
And the music was my way. So if I had to go sell crack in the process of doing that to make my own way, it was just so embedded in me just to show that I don't need nothing from y'all. I don't care about how much money you got, which is stupid now in hindsight.
I don't know about
but
that,
that's how
Barry.
it
I did the
was.
same thing in college.
Yeah.
My parents was like, yo, I had both my parents too, and they was like, we don't fuck with this music shit. You smart. You need to go get your degree, be a lawyer, doctor. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna promote parties.
Right.
And what did I do? I got with niggas out in Baltimore, started selling drugs with Snipe, crack. I ain't know we had to check fiends, beat up fiends. I said, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I started selling weed, thinking it's simpler. Started smoking the weed. They had to find ways to pay niggas. Niggas was looking for us and all that. I
Right.
said, guess what? I'm not a drug dealer. But I definitely tried it because why? I wanted to be in the music business. At that time, the business was I tell niggas all the time, and I don't want to sound crazy, but I'd be like, the music business was so different back then.
Yeah.
Than it is now.
It wasn't accessible. It was really like,
it's like
are you lying? Like,
it was more gooned out.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna be who? Like,
it was
wasn't
gooned
accessible.
out.
No. That's why his story's amazing to get in at 13.
You mind me asking, why did your parents split up?
From what I can remember back then in them days, I think that it's kind of like looking back in hindsight. They started businesses together, and I think that when the
Too much
money and all that, you know what I'm saying, when you come from nothing, it's kind of like it's kind of like, I don't want to say names, but it's kind of like my dad felt like he put my mom on, and my mom shot up, and my dad, you know what I'm saying,
stayed where he
male
was
ego.
at.
No, he was still lit,
still winning.
but at the same token, male ego and male pride always want to be honored with the fact that I put you on. And I think that with her and her side of the family, they took over the business, and her parents and her, you know what I'm saying? Like, it turned into their thing, and it turned less into what we did together. Because my dad was like, my mom was just a school teacher when my dad met her. And my dad was like, well, you're astute, like, you're smart. Like, let's send you back to college. Let's do this. And he invested into my mom. And once she blew up and caught the bag,
she didn't appreciate him?
From his perspective.
From his perspective.
Because, you know, my life is also different. Like, I was so bad that, when I was in junior high, I was like, fuck living with my mom in the suburbs, whatever. And I went and lived, when my parents got divorced, my dad was an entrepreneur, and he had hella real estate in the city, but he was just such a real nigga. He moved, and instead of spending a big bag, because he was paying for the house in the suburbs, he went and moved into one of his buildings that he had, like a 3-flat building or whatever, and I moved in with him. And that's how I ended up back in the inner city to meet LEP and to meet all these niggas, you know what I'm saying?
You wasn't sneaking out the mansion.
Nah,
it was outside.
My parents got divorced, and I went and lived with my dad, and I moved into the inner city, into the streets in the east side of Chicago.
What happened after he came and got you? Because we kind of skipped over. He comes to rescue you, took you to buy your CDs.
Yeah.
He took you to buy the CDs. So what happened once he took you to buy the Nas CD and all of that?
I came back. I got back into the mix, you know what I'm saying? And my dad actually funded my career. He put me in the studio, you know what I'm saying? And this back in the days where niggas don't even relate to this shit. I used to have to get the beats and write the songs before I get to the studio. Because the studio time was so limited that you just gotta go dump, and have the songs ready to get your shit. So from there, I ended up doing that, and I ended up circling back on my relationships from Eve and all this other shit. And then Troy Carter and Jay Irvin started, you know what I'm saying, having some influence on my career. And I actually moved to Philadelphia just to be around them or whatever. And I lived in North Philly and all that other stuff. And from there, I moved to LA because Troy and them, they did a partnership with Matthew Knowles at the time or whatever. They called it, they started some shit called Sanctuary Music. And that brought me to LA, and they put me up. And my weed man was my weed man. And I ended up, in the midst of that time, I ain't gonna lie, I really got back in the streets at that time because my weed man was in LA, and I was getting pounds of mid, some Reggie shit, and was selling it in Chicago for the, he was shipping me pounds. And during that time, I was Shauna's hype man. Now Shauna, when I first was growing up and I fell in love with hip hop, and she was with Infamous Syndicate, signed a Relativity Records.
The other girl, she was running with the other
her
girl.
And Tifa.
Yeah.
So that's how I fell in love with it, through them right there. But now she's evolved, and she's Ludacris artist, and she got Getting Some Head. So I was Shauna hype man. Y'all can go Google and YouTube Shauna Getting Some Head performance. I'm the nigga with a bottle in his hand, performing with red monkey jeans on, saying all our hype man lyrics. And from there, she was managed by Hustle, John Monopoly, and John Monopoly had an intern or a little brother who was Billy J that I met from being her hype man, and me and Billy hit it off immediately because we the same age. He was under, you know what I'm saying, we was both the young boys or whatever. So, and Billy had super ambition. He was super ambitious, and I was like, yo, I got these records. I'm really an artist, this, that, and the third or whatever. And I stole my weed man credit card, and I was living with him. I stole his credit card, and I booked Billy a flight to LA. And I was like, yo, let's take some meetings. Because Billy was like, yo, I can get us in some meetings, And he ended up hitting Epic Records And around that time, like I made the song Sexy Lady at my weed man house. Like this is like back in the day, like I ain't had no engineer, like I go press 3 and run in the booth and, you know, run back out, press it again, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I recorded myself and did the whole shit and wrote the hook with my childhood friend, Rob Holiday and Junior, the guy that was on the record. And Billy actually made a call to Epic Records. Well, I'm kind of fast forwarding that. This song, Sexy Lady, man, we was in LA, and like it used to be a club called Privilege. My weed man was a club promoter. It was one of the hottest clubs. Like I used to go in a club with a chinchilla on, nigga, like trying to vibe out, nigga. I was really tripping out or whatever, but like they loved the song Sexy Lady. The song started building up in this one club because of DJ Echo from Power 106 at the time was always the resident club. He was spinning, he fuck with me. So from there, DJ Echo took me to Power 106. I went and told my life story in a mixer meeting and cried and did the whole shit and played the record. And next thing I know, man, like by the time me and Billy really got it rocking, my song was like #1 on Power 106. And like it was #1, the #1 song in LA. We ain't have no deal. I wasn't from LA. So that's not a traditional story. You know what I'm saying? Cause you think the nigga that got the #1 song from the city, the big city, he's from LA. Nigga, I was a nigga from Chicago and my song just took over and Billy ended up ushering me into my deal, our first label deal with Epic Records. And that's how I got on as Young Berg.
Wow.
Was
Wait,
that what
wait,
made
wait,
you-
hold on. What did your weed man do when he found out you stole his credit card?
He hated it, but he was also my manager. He was partners with Billy at the time. He ended up hitting it off with Billy, and they ended up being, you know what I'm saying, coming together and being, so it all, whatever. It was a $300 flight to get a label deal.
So that was around the time when me and you met, right?
Yep.
So you was still writing records, because you wasn't just writing rap records. You was writing all types of records. I don't think that people know that. When did you start doing that, though?
I think it first started off, y'all remember Barbershop 2 or whatever? Like remember when Keisha Cole and Eve and like they had like a big soundtrack or whatever? I ended up writing records on that Barbershop soundtrack because Troy and Jay affiliation with Eve. And you know Eve was the biggest thing and she was on Interscope and the soundtrack came out through Interscope as well. So I was granted a lot of opportunity to be involved with shit like that. And then this girl named Morgan Smith that Eve had signed, I wrote her whole album. She was signed to Interscope. They ended up eventually dropping her. It didn't work out. But during that path, I ended up writing Evolution, the hook. Like Eve's last album, I wrote the hook to Evolution, and like my vocals are still on the track or whatever. And that was like my first writing credit. I think that was like in 2002. You know what I'm saying? So from there, like I was just like, yo, I really can do this. And I was really just trying to sneak in the game or whatever, but that kind of spawned my songwriting and producing career like in 2002.
Because you was even singing on shit back then. You was singing the songs out and all
Yeah,
that
for
type
sure.
of
Like
shit.
I was the demo nigga.
Yeah, he
Like,
was singing.
I was the one that was singing the demo. Like
Hell
right
yeah.
now, like I got a bunch of killers around me that, you know what I'm saying, that I work with or whatever, and they do the demos, but like I was literally the nigga that was singing the demo and doing all the other shit, you know what I'm saying? This is early, like this is pre-auto-tune damn near.
We was shocked as shit when you was coming there doing all
for
that
sure.
shit.
What was the driving force? What were you saying to yourself every day that made you just keep pushing in that same direction?
I had to prove my parents wrong. They never believed in it, you know. And then once my father started giving me the energy and like
That was like a super boost.
Yeah, so I had something to prove because you know I dropped out of high school. I did all this other shit. Like
Right.
I took the crazy route to get to wherever. So my driving force was like, man, I don't have nothing else. I literally like that's why it's so crazy for me to be. And I'm like, I really had nothing else but music. Like, and I just refused to be the nigga that went and ran a family business. Even though that's fire, like if you got a family business, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's fucking
I wouldn't
dope as
advise
hell.
nobody else to
Yeah.
go against that, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I just refused to go do
Easy
it.
alternative. If your parents have a business set up, most parents dream about being able to leave their
His
kids.
frontal lobe wasn't developed, bro.
Yeah.
We
I'm dreaming
we
about that
already
right now,
know
like
that.
on some
His
G
frontal
shit.
lobe wasn't
Yeah.
developed, my
About
man.
leaving something for
Man, I just sold my catalog, so my kids ain't gonna have to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
awesome.
Can you
The
imagine
kids
if
you
they
don't
take-
got?
Can you
Exactly.
imagine if they take your route?
man, I couldn't even judge them. I know what it took for me to get here.
But you wouldn't want to stop them.
I would do everything in my power too. But if try and put them on game, I think that the communication barrier back then for me growing up, you couldn't have real conversations candid with your kids like that. Now you can grow up and you can say, yo, for me, I have a reference point. Like, my whole life is documented on YouTube, damn near. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, yo, like, instead of me telling you, I'll just show you. This was me.
Right.
This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it wasn't realistic to be somebody that was born in the late 80s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If, like, niggas wasn't even giving kids that type of talk. It was like, stay in your fucking place
Right.
as a child. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it wasn't that vibe to where your parents had to explain zero to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cut from that era. Like, explain myself to who?
Right.
Get your ass the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Do you got more money than them now?
My parents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a huge chunk of story we're jumping over.
Which is what?
part?
Mac?
After Sexy Lady came out and Young Berg was
Yo.
dropping these hits left, right, and center, you went through a shit ton of controversy.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Everybody was, your chain went on tour, like there was all kinds of
all that's cap.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it 100. I've never talked about none of this shit that we about to get into. Like this chapter,
Yeah.
I was saving for the doc.
that's
but
when
I'm
we
going.
met.
No, I'm gonna get into it with y'all just because I respect the energy. You know what I'm saying? This is some real nigga shit for real.
Yo, the chain was so fire.
So fire. All right, so look, here's it. Yo, look.
Fire. Whose idea was that?
I'm gonna tell you. So look, I was out, you know, I'm kicking it with Jim and all this shit, but I took a liking to my dog Shice Bubs. And Bubsy, you know what I'm saying? He had the Ike Key and the Piff, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So me and Bubs would be everywhere.
Right.
And Bubs had like a big dumb chain or whatever. And he was like, yo, I'm gonna take you to my man downtown, show you where. So my man, I didn't even know it was New York gang shit, like the Decepticons.
Yeah.
I didn't know
That's
that
why
shit.
I thought it was fire.
No,
I was like,
I didn't know none of that shit.
my older cousins, you know, they was all into that shit.
I knew none of that shit, but like, he had just showed me like the Transformers shit, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get this shit big as hell, just make it the biggest possible shit, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And fucking, we made it. And like one side was one
The
Transformer, the other
Decepticons,
side was the other
all
shit.
right, yeah.
And Bubs put me on that. Shice Bubs the one that took me to go get that chain.
Wow.
That's family. Yo.
How many Deceps walked up to you like, yo?
None. Because I wasn't even in that lane. Like, I was like the sexy nigga. I was the sexiest nigga in America.
Right.
Sexy can I, sexy ladies, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was straight for the hoes, so it wasn't like I was even around none of that shit. But as far as like how the chain and all that other bullshit happened, so I remember I was signed to Epic and Koch Records was doing my radio promo. Like, shout out to them, D and Shadow and all them. They were doing my radio side because Epic was more so a pop label. And it was the era of me, Nipsey Hussle, Sean Kingston,
I remember
all
that,
of us
yeah.
being signed to Epic at that time.
Right.
So fucking, I was the hot nigga at the time. Like, and fucking, they were like, yo, we want you to go to this club, host this club. Wait, even before that. So I'm in LA and I'm headlining the Roxy. And my hype man was a guy that I really revered and respected. He was like a big brother to me or whatever. And we doing
where?
the Roxy. He's from Chicago. He was like an OG that I respected. Right. And his cousins or whatever was in the music business or whatever. And like, he kind of like flexed on him at the Roxy. He didn't go get him from the front door at the show. So they had made mention, like he had made mention that he was like, yo, like, y'all keep playing like trick, this, that, and third, because they were his managers. You know what I'm saying? He was a previous artist. I'm gonna say his name, Cap One or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Cap was my
Yeah.
motherfucking my OG, my big homie, but he just ended up being my hype man. You know what I'm saying? He was
Right.
like, I looked up to him. He's my big dog. You know what I'm saying? So
Cap One.
Tom and Trev, who used to manage Lisa Ray and all these niggas, they was his manager in the Kedar era when he was signed to Motown. They loved that and all the other shit. So I knew them, and we was fucking in LA, and he didn't want to go. He wanted to be an artist too. Like, he had humbled himself to be my hype man. I'm sure that him being 10 years or whatever my senior, he didn't want to personally be my hype man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was his little homie, but he got in where he fit in because for the big picture.
Right.
So I was doing the Roxy, and he didn't want to go get them niggas from the front. Like, we was back in the backstage drinking or whatever, but he was in his bag. He had bitches, you know? He didn't want to go get them niggas. So he flashed on them niggas, and he had made mention of like, man, well, you gonna keep flogging on me and Trick and this, that, and the third, blah, blah, because they was his manager and they was cousins with Trick. Right. So I didn't know who Trick was, nigga. I'm a 19-year-old, 20-year-old nigga. When he said that to me, I was just like, man, that's your shit or whatever. I don't know what the fuck going on. So from there, I was doing Summer Jam in Detroit, and like I was the headliner. And D and Shadow had hit me like, yo, like Trick wants you to come to the club or whatever. But he said it in front of Billy and all of us, because Billy had known about it and my whole team or whatever. And we was like, man, hell no, we ain't going to that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they just said this shit at the Roxy previous. Like, I don't know, it wasn't that far much of a gap. So it was on the radar. So I'm like, hell no, I ain't going to no shit like that, boy. You got all this bullshit going on. So from there, I flew in separately. I don't know, I think I was on a jet or some shit like that. I flew in separately, and like Cap and all my entourage was on a tour bus or whatever. Like, it got to the city for us to do Summer Jam. So Cap was
Why
like,
did you fly in separate?
I don't know, I was somewhere else.
He's on a superstar shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's on a
whatever.
superstar shit. Come on.
So they was already in the city, and fucking Cap had hit me like, boy, we got hella hoes, nigga. I'm with Slim from 112 and blah, 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 blah. Like, this back when Russ Parr had tours. And
Russ Parr morning show and
like,
all that.
Niggas had known each other. It was hella camaraderie for everybody. It was on the Summer Jam show. Plies was on the show. I was on the show. It was just mad different niggas. And fucking, he was like, yo, meet us at the club. I got off the shit, you know what I'm saying? So I was with like U.S. Marshals and shit. Like, I had the big boy security. I was with my own thing. So he's like, yo, meet us at the club, blah, blah, blah. So
But it's Detroit.
Yeah, but listen. I don't know nothing. I'm a kid. This is before all this other shit.
These
Knowing
niggas
anything.
don't got no cops after 9 o'clock, bro.
Bro, listen. So I'm
That's
with my
shit wild out there, bro.
I'm with my own security. We get there, and I meet them, and I'm like, damn, like I'm pulling out different jewelry. You know how as a artist, you got different sets and shit, but I had on like all purple, so it went with the other side of the town. I'm like, I'm finna go over in there, get some hoes or whatever. So we go in the club, and they shouting me out now. Young Berg in the building, bro. I got my security with me, and I'm like, man, what the fuck? And so like, you know, back in that day, I'm like, man, I want my bag, nigga. Y'all niggas getting a free walkthrough. So I'm like, yo, they gonna have to lower some bottles or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas is handing me mics while I'm in the club and my song coming on. Like, yo, like they gotta show love. So we went to the back, and like I'm in the back with the club promoter now, and like the little office of the club and shit.
Where's your security?
Right there with us. So I had 2, 3 securities. So we in there, he get on the phone, blah, blah, blah. I'm with Cap at the time, and we all together. He get on the phone, and he like, come back. The nigga like, man, my partner Trick say you ain't getting no play on the bottles. I'm like, your partner? And the fuck? I'm looking at Cap like,
Choose your next
I'm
words
like,
wisely.
we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So we make a beeline out this bitch. We trying to walk out, and then like the club security for the club, all the niggas that had security on the shirt,
they down.
Beat me up, beat Cap up, beat my security up, beat all of us up. You know what I'm saying? And like we get to the back, and like I'm holding on to the chain. It's like 3, 4, 5 niggas security beat me up, whatever. I let the chain go. I was just a casualty at war. I was just the face of the operation. They really had beef with my hype man at the time, but what does it matter doing something to him? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He gotta do it to me. Yeah. And I'm totally caught off guard because I ain't know none of that shit was going on. I'm just, bro, at that time I didn't know what Trick looked like or whatever. Like, nigga, like I'm just a young kid, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I ain't know none of that shit, and that shit happened. And like they like rushed me out the city. I'm like, yo, like I want to go and perform. Like I was fucked up, but I'm like, man, I want to go perform for the fans. They're like, nah, don't do that. Blah, blah, blah. You can't do that. It got me out the city. And then like I just had to hold that, and it was still my man. So I couldn't go and say.
He was still with you.
Yeah, he fucked up with me. He lumped up and beat up with me. Right. So I can't say, yo, this nigga really the reason why, you know what I'm saying, to clean my face because he my OG. And I just had to hold that. Wow. And that's how that went. And I ain't know nothing about all the shit that went on from there. Like, that's how that went. And I was just the face of the operation, so they got me.
How did the security get beat up?
When you see like 27 niggas in security shirts that's big as hell, I don't know, nigga. I was surrounded by the whole club security. Yes, nigga, that was U.S. Marshals, but they made us take the guns back on the bus when we was walking through the back door. Like, yo, you don't need no guns in here. And it was all type of Detroit police in front of this shit. But niggas was in cahoots with the whole the whole move. Look, but it was bigger than me, though. You know what I'm saying? It was bigger than me. Like, bro. I ain't know I ain't know what Trick meant to Detroit.
Man.
So I'm just a young nigga that was in a mix of, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just a hoe getter. Like I'm out here, like I'm looking for the bitches. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't really tapped in with the street life or nothing like that. Right. Like I'm just like
you're doing your music.
I'm pulling
out
up
here
to headline Summer Jam.
Right.
I'm not thinking about you know what I'm saying? Like
No shit in
After
California
that,
now in
that's when
Detroit.
like the no-fly zone thing started becoming real popular after that incident.
No, that's
I
when,
thought
that's
that
when
was
they realized Detroit wasn't playing, son.
No,
There was too
nah.
much money coming through their city, and you come on, you drive
They
around.
always felt like
At
artists.
that time,
yeah.
the city looked crazy. And there's all these dudes out there, and they're like, yo, we not getting a piece of none of this shit.
I don't understand that. Can y'all really vibe me with that? Because if y'all don't got no talent out there, and nothing's going on out there, and they're playing music from around the country, and we're flying niggas out here to come get money, what is your issue with the niggas that's coming to get money? Like that.
Oh no, but you missing the underlying story.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, my guy.
No, I'm talking about before. No. With your story, I get it.
His
I'm just talking
cousins,
about.
it
but
hit
why
their
Detroit
I'm
cousins
just
was
with
talking about
Trey.
in
Yeah,
general,
they set it off.
not
Yeah.
with you, not with you. But Detroit was like that in general. Y'all niggas coming through here, yo, what the fuck? California is like that.
Yeah.
You could be getting money
The check-in.
and they like, yo, check in with me, and it's like, yo, bro, like they're booking me out here to come get money out here because I'm doing shit over there.
See, but it's different though. I was not a street rapper. I was the guy for the chicks. That's like fucking, you know what I'm saying, Flow Rider checking in or somebody. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, bro, like, it wasn't about, you know what I'm saying? Like,
got you.
what is checking in? Like, with I have no ties, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And no street niggas.
Right.
Like, I'm supposed to just come in, get off the jet, go to my suite, fuck on some hoes, do the show, and leave. It's not
Right.
even like a thought of, yo, like, let me tap in with, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that shit didn't even resonate with me at all.
It's
Like,
the
I didn't even know what that
politics.
meant. That wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
Have
It's
you had a
politics.
chance to speak to Trick since that happened?
Nah,
Ever? Like,
no,
okay.
Would you be open to it?
no. I mean, not for what though? Like, it's a history.
It's over.
Yeah, like,
It's
what
dead
do
now.
we have to gain from the conversation for me to say, yo,
It really
for him to
wasn't
say,
me.
I know it wasn't really about you, but for me to say, man, I didn't even know who you were. You know what I'm saying? When
Right.
that happened, I just think in that era, like, I was big. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and at the beginning of the World Star era and the YouTube era, like, that was the move.
That was definitely
That was the move.
Right.
And I was so big at the time that it was like, that's the move. And I decided to wear such a captivating chain at the time that's like, this is the move.
So were you producing all the records back then too?
Yeah.
Around that same time?
Hold on. Because this,
I was.
what was the feeling when you saw that chain just moving around? Did you feel betrayed?
I don't know, it was a hard pill to swallow because I was living in the house with the guy that was behind everything. I was still living, like, this is my guy. So I
Right.
didn't know how to feel.
What was he saying? Was he apologizing every day? Was
Did he offer to get it back?
Yeah, like what was it?
What could he do? He was my hype man. He didn't have the capital. He didn't have the finances to do nothing.
He
I was the
fucked
big
it up.
dog.
That's
Yeah.
all. He made a big fucking mistake
it wasn't-
by not going to the door, and it cost them niggas some shit. He's lucky that he didn't just be like, "Yo, get the fuck." Like,
And
I'm leaving. Fuck out of here.
I don't
nigga.
know. I don't know what he was thinking. I think that we were all young and we were all trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Cause you was
But
young.
I could commend you for not
yeah.
putting him out there. Because in a situation like that, you kind of be like, damn, I'm getting dragged.
But then
They
again,
don't even know what it is.
But he wasn't somebody that would pin a headline to. So it'd be different if it was like, no, such and such did this. It was like he was somebody in my inner
But
circle.
He became known.
he was no
That's
before
what-
that.
yeah, but this happens after the fact or whatever. It's based
wow.
off that.
Wow.
And he switched sides and turned. And when it got dark for me, he went and did diss records on me and did all type of shit. You know
Oh,
what I'm
wow.
saying? Like, yeah, like, so this shit got even more diabolical and sick after that. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I was just so like I looked up to this nigga. You know what I'm saying? He was the reason why I was talking the way I was talking. Like his influence on me was symbolic. Like, you know how you got an OG then like, yo, it was almost a mentor, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a big brother. Like, that was my brother, you know? So I couldn't really imagine, like, saying those things. And when it got traumatic for me, niggas fell back on me, and then it wasn't a good look for him to be around me. But his face was still clean in the same process. You
You
know what
said
I'm saying?
that before we started filming something that I wanted, right in this era, in this pocket. You were talking about how when things got bad for you, and you know, all these videos are flying about you getting attacked and you getting hit and the main no thing. You said people started treating you like you did something wrong. You was like, yo, hold up, I'm the
Yeah.
victim, and all these people are like shitting on me and stepping away from me, and all of a sudden it's a bad look to be around me.
It wasn't really like that happened. Them the two only things that happened. That shit in Detroit, which had nothing to do with me, and then the shit with Mano or whatever, and that was doctored up and treated too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was disappointed about how that went too. You know what I'm saying? And even in hindsight, like looking back on it, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't got no bad feelings about Mano or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, me and Jim are like this, you know what I'm saying? And that, you know what I'm saying? And Mano also reached out, tried to, you know what I'm saying? But it's in that same line of trick shit. Like, I ain't no reason for us to really like link up, like talk or do nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just water under the bridge.
That's a real good way to go about it, because you're gonna face a lot of that shit.
I ain't gonna lie.
Over 20 years.
The last time I saw you and Mano together, that I was there, and I didn't get a chance to apologize to Mano for that, but they didn't know they was gonna see each other, and it was all set up.
Oh yeah, Mano thought that we was trying to set him up
the way it
my
happened,
HYNAKEN
man,
interview. Yeah,
they was like, "Yo, we got Mano coming through to do the interview." I said, "Bet." They giving the lineup. Then they
and I had a bunch of niggas from
the smallest nigga was 6'4", 250.
Like I had a bunch of it. So but I didn't know that Mano was gonna be there.
Nah,
Honestly.
fuck that. This shit ain't happening again.
No, what happened was, we knew they were coming, but we were told that they spoke, and it was cool between them.
Yeah.
And that wasn't true.
It wasn't true. So now Mano's doing the interview. Berg is outside, Hitmaker, and he's chilling. No crazy energy.
Yeah.
The interview with Mano's going great. Mano turns around and sees him. Mano lets it go for like 10 seconds, and he's like, whose bright idea was it to invite young Berg? He doesn't hear that because he's outside.
Yeah,
we're like this. Mano looks at me. He's like, I know he ain't do this shit. He look at Nelson, Money Nels. Then he look at Maya. He's like, so you suck dick, huh, bitch? Because he figured it out.
Yeah.
So now Mano's only with his manager. If Mano's not pussy, but what Berg had with him, that's not a fair fight.
Yeah.
The smallest nigga was 6'4", 250. The biggest nigga is 6'8", 300.
And it wasn't even like we knew that.
No, he didn't know. And they met each other. Everything was calm, but I wanted to apologize to Mano for that because it came out fucked up, and even to Berg. He ain't know.
Right.
And that was the first time they had met each other since that incident.
Yeah, that situation was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, the situation with Mano is like, me and Mano were actually really cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I put him on my remix, the business remix or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we had mutual alliances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like we vibed out. And damn, how that shit happened? We was in Atlanta, and I was there, and like I had a chip on my shoulder. Like I'll never forget. Like I was probably on like 3 ecstasy pills. Like I was geeked up. I was turned up. We went to like the bowling alley first. Then we went to a club. I forget what club we was at. And like I was wilding that night. Like I was like performing, dancing with fat girls, kissing fat girls.
That's my nigga right here.
Bugging out that night. Like I was on a different type of time.
Radioactive.
You said he was on 3 X pills, my nigga. Come on.
I was in a different type of bag that night.
Yeah.
And I think that we went. Well, this what happened. Damn it! All this shit kind of lead back to Cap, yo. I'm so sorry, Cap.
Oh,
yo.
man.
Yeah,
That's
Jesus.
crazy.
So prior to that, Billy's sitting right over here too, because Billy was with me. I ain't gonna lie, Billy's on the road. He in his phone right now.
Billy's over there quiet right now.
So,
yeah, I see you in the corner quiet, Nick.
Bro, I think we were in Phoenix or some shit, right? And like me and Mano had like the same like type of hosting, and like I sent Billy and Cap inside to like go vid out the section, make it seem what it is. Yeah, okay. All right, cool. Keep your face clean, my brother. Yeah. So I sent niggas to vet out the section, and then my bro came back to me like, yo, like, I had a bunch of chicks with me and shit, like, yo, Mano in our section, he don't want to get out the section, da 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 da. And I was just like, that's a bro. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, nigga, we finna crash it. He ain't gotta get out of the section. We finna crash it. So, like, I went in. I'm talking about I murdered the show. Like, I had, like, one of my greatest performances ever. And, like, I guess it was some offense taken, whatever words were exchanged between them in the process of me getting to my section. I didn't know though. So when I seen Mano, greeting, what up? You know what I'm saying? I was that nigga at the time. So fucking from there, some tension I think between them. And now we in a club and like the Detroit shit had happened. So I got a chip on my shoulder. Now I'm just like a fully loaded grenade. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
And you on three.
Yeah, and I'm with
extra
100 niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm with security, I'm just like wilding out type shit. And we get in a section and Mano back in a section or whatever, blah, blah. And I think like we had some exchange some words. I said some crazy shit or whatever. And I think like.
What was the crazy shit?
I don't remember exactly because I was on 3 pills, but this is my perspective. Like his perspective could be different, but this is my perspective on a loaded night. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that that happened. I threw a drink at niggas and just like a riot ensued or whatever. Niggas just started going blah, 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 blah. The next morning I woke up and that's the part I didn't love, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm so past it, you know what I'm saying? But at that time I didn't love it. The next morning I woke up after the whole shit happened and I was on the phone, man, and I think Alpha Mega, the nigga that used to be around T.I. or whatever, ended up putting us on the phone or whatever, blah, blah. So I was just like, bro, like, man, my bad, bro. Like, you know, I'm geeked up. Like, I got a chip on my shoulder, like, all this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas, you know what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, I love you, bro. Like, you just got the wrong niggas around you, bro. Like, you got to wisen up. You got the wrong niggas around you. That should never have you moving like that. Da, 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 da.
Right.
Mind you, like, and that was all cool. And we can't go to the phone like, bro, I ain't never going to talk about this shit up again. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's love, bro. Like, I apologize, blah, blah, blah. And shit, I'm riding my Range Rover with the nigga Cap, and the nigga like, oh, I'm in his Range Rover, excuse me. We riding, and they like the slap heard around the country, Hot 107.9 by the Manos by the time in, and do all that shit. And I just hung up the phone with him like, yo, bro, you my big bro. Like, bro, I'm sorry about the, you know what I'm saying? Like, da. And like, nigga, it was like literally like we hung up and maybe 30 minutes later, nigga, I heard that shit on the radio. So I'm like, damn, dog, like, but then again, like in hindsight, like how we talk about perspective, this was early in the World Star era. Mano was just coming home. Mano was just trying to find
Need
his
the
way.
publicity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And it's
he
like,
said
shoot
he
the
sat
video.
right in that chair. He said, yo, I did a lot of stuff for attention.
And then the crazy thing is, I think that he might have had influence, and then with the shit happened with me and the chain or whatever, and he seen what the niggas was getting from that shit
The
or whatever.
energy.
It was just like, fuck it.
Easy
You know what I'm
target.
saying? Like it
But,
was just,
what was it him directly or was it people around
He
him?
didn't shoot that video. The perspective from the video was from the side. He didn't. It's not like he filmed it and told everybody to do it. Like he was a part of the incident. But niggas, when we saw the video, I was at the Source. I believe I was at the Source magazine.
What
at the time.
video?
There was a video of that incident.
nah.
Oh, bro. Yes, sir.
It's just whatever it is, it's just it was like, this was the exact thing. I'm talking to him, blah, 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 we gonna, I throw a drink, and then it's just melee. You know what I'm saying?
He
Blah,
was
blah, blah.
leaning down. He was elevated. You were here, and y'all were having a conversation. And then the next thing is his hand. You might have made a move, then his hand went, and that's when everything
The
broke out.
melee.
Right. But what I'm saying is, he didn't. It was being filmed at the time. They were just watching two really famous rap niggas talking to each other.
Right.
And we talking about the beginning of the World Star movement. Of course, that was something to get on film.
And they're gonna cut it.
And you don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
While you
So
filming
the
it.
way they doctor this
They
shit
gonna,
up,
they
you know
gonna,
what I'm
but, they,
saying?
but they
Yeah.
can cut it. This is where it happened,
Right.
and this is everything around the
Yeah,
world.
that's it.
Hey,
Listen,
yo,
man.
let's talk to Mano.
Trust me, I know, bro.
Oh shit.
We World Star brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Not,
Real.
not no more. But
That's a clip right there,
No
Joe.
more. We number 5. We number 5. We number 5.
But that's like that happened, and what kind of like threw me up like to that, because we never really had no altercation. Like we never had no, you know what I'm saying? Like
But
disdain
just
to
the
each other or
percep-
whatever. But when
Yeah.
this what it was though. Nah, you doing too much. But the thing is that it wasn't necessarily like we had an altercation, because I had 3 security with me. It wasn't like he
Nah, them niggas giants.
He ain't put no, he ain't do no, but he ain't do nothing crazy to me or whatever. Like what the story of a trade, that ain't what happened. It was just a melee of all the other shit. And what I can say is that, man, like, man, shit. Like,
And by now you was an easy target.
nah, but even looking back in perspective and hindsight, it ain't even about easy target or this,
No,
that,
I
and
mean
third,
for the
whatever.
media.
No, like, yes, but ultimately, like,
Yeah.
if
It
you
becomes
in that
that.
position and you trying to make a name for your career or whatever, and you trying to do something, and this is like something that's in the era of, this is before clickbait, this is before like this, in the World Star era or whatever.
That
Like,
was a
I'm
different
going
era.
for
he
it.
ran
going
for
for
it.
it.
I'm going for it. Like,
ran with it.
call me up. Let me talk about the story. And guess what? I got a record out, or my record is coming.
Yeah, I didn't care for that much as a younger guy, you know what I'm saying? Because I
Yeah.
was just like, damn, like,
Here we go
as
again.
soon as, no, it wasn't here we go again. It was just more so like, I just had a candid conversation with you on the phone. Like, we had a real conversation
Right.
with alleged G's at that time, patching niggas in, you know what I'm saying? Like, big homies or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And we said it was dead, like, you know what I'm saying, when we
Right.
got off the phone. And, you know, shit, niggas decided to, you know, take it and,
I mean,
and
that's-
move on with it. And
I mean-
it ain't no, like, we ain't got no real beef. We ain't never had no real beef. It was never like that.
Right.
And bro then reached out to me, you know what I'm saying, through certain people or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, we, you know what I'm saying, like, but
Shit
it's
happens.
just
Look,
water on the bridge.
I got no
like,
Shit
altercation.
happens.
I got no altercation over pretty much nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Cali fighting 6 niggas.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just outside having a cool conversation with the nigga that started the whole shit. So I understand.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and to this day, the story, he still tells the story in a way where it was like, it was drama.
Right.
We was outside
I never knew
chilling.
you was outside with him.
We was outside
Wow.
chilling, bro. Chilling.
Was
So
he
I
setting
get it.
you up? Was he setting you up that
No,
night?
I mean, I still believe that. You know, he say something else, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like
The only
God
reason I
damn.
ain't like it because I was little bro. You know
This
what I'm
is the
saying? Like, I was
entertainment-
the little nigga. You know
This
what I'm
is the
saying? So I
entertainment
was thinking
business,
that,
Bird.
you know what I'm saying? But I learned that.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just skipping over
And
that.
it
We
ain't-
know now it's the entertainment
You know,
business.
like in hindsight, looking back, like on some G shit, like they did what they needed to
Shit
do. with
was
that.
never no
They did what they
drama.
was, you know, niggas fresh out of situation. They trying to make their own way.
So this is another one where you don't judge. You can't judge them because you get it.
Yeah, because it wasn't like he violent. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like we had a moment to where it was just like I was just so like, but no, it was just on. It was on some like some
He
fresh
was
shit.
wilding.
You know
He
what
threw
I'm
a
saying?
drink on
Yeah,
niggas.
like,
That shit went the wrong way.
If I
Yeah, he
never
admits it.
provoked that, if I never threw that drink, then
It wouldn't
never
have
been none of
happened.
that shit. Yeah. And I'm
That's
sure,
fair
you know what I'm
enough.
saying?
Yeah.
And he don't have to respond to this. We don't got to do nothing like that or
yeah,
whatever.
right,
This
right.
ain't no open door. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
no.
to me, this is my perspective. His perspective, it could be what it is. But at the same token, this is 20 years later.
ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this is this is
decades.
2007, 2008.
Right.
We've grown and matured so much, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and that's why we able to talk about this shit. But I'm just a person that's so transparent that I want to lay everything flat for people to be able to look at my shit and learn from it, take it as inspiration, see where I fucked up, and be able to use my story as a testimony for real, for real.
That's dope. I can't clap. I got a drink in my hand.
Slap the chair.
But I still want to know from this point, because he's Berg, right?
And everybody's dragging his name.
Okay. When you go home and this bullshit's going on, what's the transition? What's your mind like? Like, what's your mind like? I'm here now, and I still want to go here later. What's the plan? What's the feeling?
But in that era, well, I was still like, I'm filthy rich, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, it's not like you go home and you go like back to the P's or some shit like that. And it's like, womp, womp, womp. Like, nigga, I go to a
Right.
fucking mansion with a bitch, you know what I'm saying, and holding me down and this, that, and the third. And I'm still living the high life because my records are still at a high plateau or whatever. I think that the initial change kind of happened when shit kind of like started to slow down and I started to realize that my overhead was 50 grand a month and this, that, and the third or whatever. And I'm looking, I'm taking care of niggas and I'm doing all this type of stuff. And like, I was just like, yo, I gotta pivot. Like, I gotta realize like how to take this shit another direction.
What were the changes that you made?
I ain't gonna lie. I don't think it was nothing that God made the change for me. like this guy named Brian McKinney who played for the Minnesota Vikings or whatever.
BK.
Yeah, B-Mac. You know what I'm saying? Like
In
he had hit
Miami.
me, and he was like, "Man, I heard you write and produce records and this, that, and the third, and shit. I'm starting my label. You know what I'm saying? I want you to move to Miami and work with my artists and this, that, and the third." And like I was spending like 50 grand a month with niggas living with me, and this nigga talking about he want to pay for me to move to Miami and do all this other shit. So I'm like, I just chucked deuces on niggas. Because it was quiet for me as my career as an artist, because I went through so much stuff, and B-Mac had just embraced me with open arms in a time where it wasn't cool really to be around me and offer me a space. And like, I ain't gonna lie, that nigga was so up, nigga. He was so, I owe a lot to that nigga, you know what I'm
People
saying?
love him, bro.
Yo, he was so,
Everybody loves him, bro.
he was so rich to the point that like the nigga just was like, fly down here, flew me down, and just put me in a crib for a year and paid all my bills or whatever. It was like, bro, you ain't gotta worry about nothing. I just paid everything, just work. And it just gave me a free open playing field to just start trying to develop me. And I was still doing mixtapes at the time and still trying to figure the vibe out or whatever, but I was able to develop and work with these different artists to where it's like, well, damn, I'm really like the producer now. Like now I am what
That was when I saw you in
What you were
Miami.
looking for that
you needed
direction.
back
Yeah.
That's why you was in Miami when I
Yep.
saw you at Prom. You was
Yep.
fucking with BK.
Exactly.
I mean, B-Mac.
So I was with them, and that kind of like started the evolution of my career, just moving like
To
being
Hitmaker?
comfortable.
Was
because-
Hitmaker born in that trip?
Nah, I'm gonna be 100 with you. I never sought out and was like, yo, I'm gonna be Hitmaker. You know how crazy it is to say that shit for a nigga that went through everything we just talked about and then be like, I'm finna name myself Hitmaker.
Hitmaker.
I never even decided to do that. Like I literally was in Miami in that time and I was in a booth and I was just doing hooks for everybody. I did a hook for, this back when Chicago started happening, like King Louie, My Hoes They Do Drugs. It's me actually on the hook with Pusha T and Juicy J on that song. Then I did DJ Infamous song, and that was the first time I ever said Hitmaker. I just went in the booth and I was like, Hitmaker, and I did a song called Double Cup featuring Young Jeezy, myself, Juicy J, and Ludacris. And it was DJ Infamous single, and I was performing the hook, and that was my first time saying Hitmaker, and Infamous let me stay on the song, and he kind of like let me get that off first.
Wow.
Now that's
And from
dope.
there.
From there?
From there, yeah.
Shit. From there, I was in Atlanta, and Atlanta was really cliquey at the time. You know, Polo the Don had their people, and this, you know what I'm saying? T-Pain had his movement. Everybody had their own different shit going on. So from there, I kind of I wrote a record for Tamar Braxton, and I ended up back in LA. And from there, that's how I ended up moving back to LA. And like that kind of like started me really getting in my bag, like, yo, like I'm finna be on this type of shit or whatever. Then from there, I ended up meeting Nicki Minaj, and then that kind of like took it over the top. And I was able to do like 5, 6 records on that Pink Print album, and she ended up like really taking me under her wing, and that kind of like springboarded my career.
Shout out to Nikki.
Nah, for sure.
Shout out to Nikki.
South Jamaica Queens in the motherfucking building at all times.
I commend him on his courage for
At
that
all
because
times.
Get the money.
South Jamaica Queens. Wait, pause for South Jamaica.
yeah.
Pause for South
I mean,
Jamaica and
you
pause
might
for
as well
Nicki
go for it,
Minaj.
dude.
Nah, go ahead.
Nah, it's over.
Nah, Nicki good money though. I love Nicki.
So, what happened to Cap?
Still, you know, he's still my brother, you know. We don't have a relationship as we once was, but still my brother.
Do you regret that?
What, our relationship?
Yeah, like not being what it is.
Hell, bro, my nigga. You know how up I am right now? Like, I know we just went through a bad part of the story. Like, bro, like, this like light after the motherfucking bullshit.
but
you know
being
what I'm
that
saying?
this
Like,
is the
for real.
first time that you really breaking down like the whole that,
Yeah.
it took a lot for you to hold that all this time.
Yeah, a lot of years.
Not really. This shit is regular shit, bro.
Hey,
We
I'm tough
tough
niggas, my
niggas, bro.
nigga. Since
Nah,
13, nigga.
yo,
You
different mental
You been
tough
out of here.
niggas.
That shit.
We tough
He don't
niggas,
read
man.
comments. He don't care about all
It's
that
not
stuff.
about that. It's what he's been through from since 13, from the concentration camp to all this shit, being
Everything.
on world.
Everything.
So for 23 years of your life, it's just been fuckery, high levels, ex passing away. That's one of your mentors, your idols.
Yeah.
You have no excuse. Have no fucking excuse.
Yeah.
You got a dream. You out there, you watching this show and you talk about all the shit in front of you. All the shit that this guy went through you have no fucking excuse. And if you watching my show, you definitely know.
And you know what's crazy?
Ain't no excuse, bro.
There's people that don't know him as Young Berg. Before the interview started, it's like you're like Kobe Bryant #8 and Kobe Bryant 24.
It's mad niggas that be like, oh, Hitmaker. And there's mad people like, I didn't know Young Berg was Hitmaker. Like, I think that this year kind of like
That's dope.
evolved and people kind of like put it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, Young
some
Berg is
people didn't know
Hitmaker,
Titty
like-
Boy was 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Real shit.
That's fact.
Rebranding.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I was around for all that shit.
Motherfucker.
But the thing is, man, what I want people to take away from this shit, like, cause when all that shit happened, and then I was just mad resilient, you know what I'm saying? Like, just on a different level. And then from there, it started, then Nicki, then like my whole breakthrough was like Big Sean bounced back. That was my first time I got like a real, I think that record is like 7 times platinum, Super Bowl commercials, all type of shit, no sample, no nothing. That was like my first real big check. That's my first time seeing a royalty. I got like a royalty, it was like $500,000. My dad called me. I'm like, what
That's
the
your
fuck,
first
nigga?
time?
Yeah, like.
Wow.
He
I
still
go-
manage you?
Who, my dad?
Yeah.
He's my business manager for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
my dad is, my dad is multi-millionaire.
I'm just
shit,
curious. So
what
you
I'm
got
saying? We keep the money in the
500,000.
family. So like for me to see that, and then from there, to become vice president of A&R at Atlantic Records, to sell like 40 million records with them or whatever, to do all this other stuff. It's just to put so many different people on. Like the amount of people that I put on around me in this whole career as hitmaker, and just like not even like put on to where it's like you need to credit me or thank me, but just like my perseverance and my hard work and people just being around me with my hard work has been able to bleed into their lives unconsciously. You know what I'm saying? Like I could work with a writer or a producer and not even think about that shit, but you in a studio with me, you start taking pictures with me and we start playing some shit and I get a little Instagram story or 2 off, you're gonna get a publishing deal immediately. Like it's not even think about.
Right.
Or if you're an artist and you're around me, you're gonna get an artist deal. Like, and it's a reflection of everything that's around me. There's nobody around me that does not have a deal.
Can I say something
Everybody
selfish?
has a deal. Uh-huh.
How long you in town for?
Hey, shit, I'm here, you know what I'm saying, 2 more days.
Math.
Now we gotta go in the studio.
Let's see.
There's nobody that ever spends any time around me that has never got a deal or anything, bro. And like you gotta think right now, look at this shit, bro. Like I'm sitting here with my brother Neat Bucks, one of the best out of Harlem. Like, you know what I'm saying? This man is
Been
fucking
killing.
amazing. It's my brother. And then not only that, like, look at radio right now, like 13 songs out of 50 are mine.
Can we run down the list?
I mean, I'm already in my bag, but you know what I'm saying?
Keep going.
My single, Tink single, Megan Thee Stallion, Plan B, fucking Lakia, Mind Your Business, Aaron Ray. Like, it's just multiple. Like, I don't even want to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Don't brag on these niggas.
Nah,
Don't brag on
Don't
these
be
niggas.
modest. Nah,
I
don't be
don't
modest.
want to
Don't
even
let
do
them.
that.
Don't let them even get you like that. Fuck them.
Think about that. So look, this what the real fuckery is though. Like, so like anybody that's ever dissed me or like played with me, they want a record right now.
Don't you just love that?
Not really. I ain't getting off on that.
No, not. But just the fact that I turned it around.
Yeah.
To me, it's more so like, man, I can inspire the next nigga. It might be somebody that want to, like y'all said, want to kill theyself. Like, nigga, I ain't never felt like that.
They're watching this
So
shit
the
right
shit
now.
that I've been through, like, I ain't never touched that type of level. It's somebody that want to give it all up for this shit.
Right.
But they able to see me right now and be like, what? Like, hell no. And they could be bigger than me. Like I just said, like, bro, like in the last 6 years, like, I'm 100 million sold and 10 billion streams. I don't even know, like, you know, like I'm so foot on the gas that I don't even know, like, the plaque bigger than me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just continuing to roll on and roll on and roll on. Like, even with me being in Atlantic for 4 years, even my executive career, now being at Empire, look at the stuff that I did with Empire. When I left Atlantic, people thought that, man, like, I don't know if this gonna keep continuing working, because at Atlantic, I did A Boogie, Look Back at It, Meek Mill, Dangerous. I did all these different records or whatever. And then I go from there to fucking Empire, and shit. My first song was Baddest by by Young Blue featuring Chris Brown and 2 Chainz. One of the biggest radio records of the last 12 months is a reoccurring record. I don't know if y'all know, but you pray for your record to be called a reoccurring record.
Yeah.
So why they're not even trying to spend money on it, but it's going to keep playing and playing
on radio.
No money being spent.
No, it goes into ads. It's a reoccurring. It's forever. It goes into ads.
Exactly.
No matter what,
There's a list of records that radios just keep in rotation.
Then from there, I did all Tink Project. Tink Project about to drop.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? She about to drop next week on the 19th. She's the biggest fucking independent female artist. Like, she's getting more money and she's bigger than the biggest. You know what I'm saying?
Right. She's from Chicago too, right?
Yeah, Chicago.
Then I was able to keep my hands in a bunch of different shit. I was able to collaborate and do the Fireboy record, Peru with Ed Sheeran and all this other stuff. Like, bro, this shit is easy work. And not only that, I'm more excited than anything about Neek Bucks. He just got his new situation. We about to drop his project. Big features. 2 Chainz, Wiz Khalifa, Tink, all these different people on my dog. My dog from 1 block away from here.
And this nigga been working a long time.
Facts.
I remember me and Clue did a slide mixtape on the app on shit, and we featured him on that shit.
Yeah.
When I met him, he was doing the joint with Steve Stout.
Yeah.
How'd that work? Because he was just in the news.
Who that? Steve?
Yeah.
Oh.
They say he was taking all this money from the United.
Oh, no. I had a good time at United Masters.
Oh, you ain't getting no money taken from you? That shit was.
Let's not put that
I
out
actually
there.
made
Oh
money.
no, it was out there. The story.
Yeah.
Nah, I
No, it's out
actually
there.
made money.
Like he kept like 7 to 10 million or some shit like that.
So you ain't
But
getting.
listen, Stout is a
I actually
legend.
made money.
They
I left
they
happy.
can't pay the legends enough, okay?
Got it.
So even if he got 7 to 10 million, it wasn't gonna go to somebody's budget that was gonna make them a star. You know what I'm saying? I don't foresee him doing that, but they're gonna carve their money out, my dude. You gotta understand that.
Nick a rapper.
Nah, Steve and them did right by me, though.
Now,
Sure.
Big is not mic'd up. I gotta ask this question. Do you give any of this, like, credit it to God?
Me?
Yeah.
No, my whole career is God-based. Like, I mean, it's God and hard work. Like, if I didn't have God, put God first or work hard, then I wouldn't really be on nothing. Like, for real, you gotta think about it like, shit, to make it through these type of adversities or whatever, to be on top right now, standing, like, I don't know, I ain't even trying to, like, hold y'all up. Like, these niggas is not getting the type of, you know what I'm saying,
right.
favor. They don't have the type of God favor that God has on my life right now. Like, and that's what people were jealous of. And maybe, like, if you a hater, like, because I'm spreading all positive energy.
Right.
So if you sitting back and you watching and you have any disdain on me, you just jealous of God's favor. It's God's favor they paying me $75,000 a record. It's God's favor that I got a song deal with every major record company in the music business right now. It's God's favor, but I don't think that you get to God's favor without going through the trials and tribulations, my brother.
And that's something you touched on earlier that I wanted to circle back on. You said it so smooth it came and went, but you alluded to the sacrifices that it took to get to where you are
for
now.
sure.
And you said something real key. You said, I've sacrificed my whole life. I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. I don't have any of these other things that people build their lives around. I know plenty of people who go hard when they get kids. That was a turning point. They got a kid, now I gotta go super hard. But I've sacrificed my whole, and there's so many people who are in this for the entertainment or in this for the fun and in this, but you sacrifice all that stuff, and I don't think people
Does that
understand
resonate with you? Because we
my
both
God.
sacrificed.
like you wouldn't believe. And
that's
the story
every
y'all got.
artist,
Both of us.
I sacrificed a lot.
Man, using condoms ain't a sacrifice.
that's not what I'm talking
What?
about. That's not what I'm talking
I
about.
sacrificed promotions, relationships.
No, bro.
No, I get it.
My family didn't like me doing this shit.
No, there are people
I
who dead ass
sacrifice
don't.
everything.
There are dead ass people who don't talk to me. There are people who
Yeah,
are mad
family.
at me for shit that I tried to help them out with, who are pissed at me.
That's all of us. That's part of
Facts.
this game.
Facts.
Yo,
That's
no,
part
you got,
of the music
You gotta
That is a
hear,
fact.
you gotta
That is a
hear,
fact.
you gotta hear where I'm coming from.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
When I'm consulting and I'm talking to these kids, and they're talking to me about all the things they want to do, and I tell them, okay, if this is what you want, here's what it's gonna take, and they instantly look at me and say, nah, I don't take that. Why? Because they're on Instagram looking at somebody like Berg who's showing the highlights of his life, and that's what they think it takes. And when he said, I've sacrificed my life to get to this point, that's the part they don't see. They see the highlights. And that's what I'm trying to touch on now.
What you about to say?
What it takes is more than what some people are willing to give
But the
up.
doc is coming.
Of course, yeah.
But just because a man isn't married, or I mean, just because a man is married or have kids, don't mean he not sacrificing his whole shit.
No, I didn't
Like
say
he
that.
didn't have time to do that. I got a daughter. I'm married. I sacrificed my whole life for this shit. My wife didn't meet me until later. A nigga tried to murder me in 2001. I survived. I had to learn to walk again. That was behind music,
But you just
nigga.
said, what did you say earlier? With your parents?
My
They were-
parents
no,
didn't want me to do none of
That's a
this shit.
sacrifice.
But all of
Your pops thought you was a
that's
drug
a
dealer,
part-
my nigga.
Yo,
So look,
listen.
so look,
Listen,
Real shit.
my father thought I was drug dealing until Corona.
Yeah.
So look, let's
This
put
is real shit.
Let's put a blanket statement
Yeah.
on it. Like, when you really want this, like you really want it, sacrifices must be made.
Yes.
My sacrifices might not be yours.
Yours,
and
exactly.
vice versa. But you gonna sacrifice
they
a
might
portion
wait
of
and
your
see.
life. You're just gonna
Yes.
take something away from you.
Facts.
Relationships,
For you
money.
to be
Yeah.
aware
It's
you wanna
something
be.
of high value.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
very
gonna
high.
cost
And you have to be able to say, no, this is more
The
important.
only reason I say that for me is because it's like, damn, like, I went through all that. Now I'm like an 8-figure nigga. And I don't got, like, how am I gonna meet a girl? She gotta meet me on an elevated level. Does she really fuck with me? Is she even, do she wanna, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is this at
It's a lot
a
of
ground level that you wanna have children with? It just come with so many different barriers of what's going on.
Would you believe her if she said to you, I don't like
No,
young
fuck
Berg,
no,
like
but I
Sierra
love this
Ash,
shit. Yo,
see?
but I'd rather be an
I'm a
8-figure
kid-
nigga with having
With
these
the
problems than
worries.
be a broke nigga, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
With, you know, like,
I'ma tell you,
You
yo, I'ma
made
tell
the
you-
trade. You made the
Yo.
sacrifice. The only thing I'm pointing out is that part doesn't get highlighted.
Yeah.
People don't see that part. And when I have to tell them that this is what it costs, they don't believe me.
It
And
ain't
you
for
saying
them.
that, I know that, but they don't want to hear me tell them that. Because
When we walk-
then a nigga like Math is calling me a dream killer.
No,
when I
but
look him in the face and say it's not for you,
no.
now I'm the dream
every
killer.
one of us,
man.
every one of us that walked this journey, real
Right.
talk, none of us thought it was gonna be over fucking night, nigga. Niggas knew they was gonna have to put some fucking work in, they was gonna have to build, they was gonna have to do something, and then I'ma get my motherfucking shine.
I'm not talking about us. I'm not talking about
You talking
us.
about the frontal lobe not
We-
developed niggas?
Listen.
Yo, but look,
listen,
check this
listen.
out. Let me say this though. This what the funniest thing is to like what people can see from this interview and like the whole trials and tribulation. The shit that happened to me, like going to the concentration camp in the school, is more traumatic than even the foolery with young bird
With the
shit, you know what I'm
Samoans
saying?
and the beans.
Yeah, like that
Ill
shit
nigga
was
shit.
more. That shit was more
More
traumatic
traumatic.
than that little foolishness
Do you
that
think
happened.
that you can never get to a point where you can repair your relationship with your mother?
Yeah, I'm working on that right now. That's the next
Respect.
chapter
That's
of my
what's
life.
up.
you know?
That's what's up.
Well,
Good for you.
What was it like?
I gotta work on me first, though.
Yeah.
I think
Wow.
a lot of people don't take accountability for that.
Right.
Like, I'm fucked up. Like, I gotta step back from this shit. Like, I gotta step away. I gotta take 3 months away, because it's just grind. That's why I'm looking forward to the rest of this year. Like, I done fucked this year up so much that I don't even gotta do another song for the rest of this year. Like, I'm already in 2023. Like, I'm already ahead of niggas, like, for real. So I wanna take the rest of this year off,
Yeah.
damn near. I'm just bought me.
After
Are
you
you,
in with
are you
Math.
gonna be able
Yep.
to?
I just bought, yeah, of course. I just bought the big dumb house from scratch in Miami, nigga. Like, I just want to take a few months off and really like tap in and smell some roses and
So what
sit
do you-
back. You know what I'm saying?
Where you
And-
I would
looking
love
to,
to
where
do
you
that.
looking to get to spiritually inside? What you said I'm fucked up. What are you looking to fix? It's obviously something that money can't buy.
The fucked upness is just being so driven to where you had to block out everything, whether it was personal relationships, time, building with people. Cause you know, this music industry is one thing, but when you know it's all said and done, family is the most important.
But that sounds like an
Esso
asset.
be saying that all the time.
People start to identify you as cold. Like,
The way he said it just now, most people will tell you you should be that way.
This is
That's how you
so
should be
but
in order to be.
people in your life won't feel like that.
They're
Oh,
not
fact.
gonna feel like that.
They're
But
not gonna
right
feel
now,
like that.
Math, in this situation that we're in, This is the first time I ever put myself first, nigga.
Man.
And I speak to the least amount of people ever in my life right now. It's only one motherfucker that gets a call from me guaranteed every day, and that's my moms and pops. And today I ain't speak to them because we filming. So niggas got to understand now I'm not a manager no more. I'm in front of the camera, and no, I can't do all of that shit. I have to concentrate on my shit. I gotta talk in the mirror and fucking deal with stuttering. I gotta do research. I gotta go ride my bike, work out. I gotta do shit for me that's gonna make me look better. And some people are gonna go by the wayside naturally. You know what I'm saying?
The next chapter of my life is called Get Rich and Disappear. For anybody that
That's the next album?
Yeah.
I like that title.
But my thing is like, man, I just want to put the next people on, man. Like I don't even like, man, I never buy no plaques. I never do all that other shit or whatever. Like I don't care about none of that shit, man. Like my dog getting on, like my dog seeing a different level of life. You know what I'm saying? Like people being able to influence people. Like that's where I'm at with it right now. You know what I'm saying? Cause you chase the money so long that when you finally get the bread, you actually sit back and be like,
This is
this
crazy.
shit ain't even really like, you know what I'm saying?
that ain't crazy.
Like it gives you freedom, but you know what I'm saying? But at the same token, like you free by yourself.
And you look
Lonely path.
and you're kind of disconnected from everybody that was close to you.
And you got PTSD from all the other shit, from the things that have happened, so you can't really check in, you know what I'm saying, and really open yourself up to be like.
And the only thing that really brings you any type of joy is seeing other people go through their journey.
Sure.
Like, how did you remain the same dude? Because I mean, you shrug your shoulders, right? But for me to have known you for 20 years and not see you for a long time and see you're the same exact person. How do you go through the trials and fucking tribulations and still remain with the same heart and fervor for life and music?
I've been me the whole time, man. I can't switch up now.
Is that a good thing?
Hell yeah.
He's up
That's
8 figures.
But
money ain't everything.
Money ain't everything,
I mean,
son. I'm telling you, son.
Guys, I just want to say this because you said something, and if I don't comment on this, I'm gonna be upset, and I'm gonna be upset tonight.
Yeah.
Please don't.
People, I need y'all to understand. The favor from God is the breath that you breathe. We all have the equal favor from the Lord. What you do with that favor is on you. But as long as you breathe it, we all have that equal favor.
Right.
And the value of life is not money. It's not diamonds, it's not gold. I don't care what you hear. It is not that. It's salvation.
That's a fact.
I ain't mad at that.
Yo, I love Bigga, man, but that's my brother and I know him. And he likes money. He likes money. He likes money.
But
Don't
man,
get it fucked up.
Don't get it fucked up.
There's a
lately
6 outside.
crazy.
Guaranteed is
With the run flats.
the 750's outside.
It's outside.
It's outside.
With the run flats.
And,
So anyway.
and his wife gets moist when he looks at her like this.
Found him trying.
You know what I mean?
Berg like, what just happened? I missed that episode.
Nah.
You missed that episode?
All right, for the people that do this,
Right.
what are you using when you go in the studio?
Well, in my earlier days, I started out programming like on FL and all that other stuff or
Fruity
whatever.
Loops.
Yeah, but now like I've took it up to like a different level to where like I'm more so like,
Logic?
nah, I don't program beats. I'm like Quincy Jones of this era, Puff
Gotcha.
Daddy of this era. So I have a whole team that I've assembled or whatever that's like guys that I work with that I'm able to be a blessing into their life, like how they blessing my life, to where I can point out the bounce and say, you know what? As far as like I really ushered in all this shit. Like you see how like I went on a Breakfast Club like 3 years ago and I'm like, yo, I'm about to be the Puff Daddy of this generation. Watch. I'm about to flip every song that I grew up on 106 in Park, and it's gonna be a motherfucking hit. And like I kind of ushered in like what's happening right
More
now. You can't
sampling.
go nowhere without niggas flipping a motherfucking song or whatever. So
Right.
I ushered in that era, and then not only that, like man, like I'm just great at like putting the right people in the room and allowing my influence to bleed in through them. You know what I'm saying? Like me being so excited about something might bring the best out of somebody else, to where it could be like, yo, I like this Stevie Wonder loop. Let's do that. Let's get the EPMD only for customer drums.
Right.
Let's put them under that.
Right.
And then let's put Fabulous on this record. Tink,
Right.
this gonna be
So
your
you're not
song.
even touching the machines.
I don't have to, no.
Let me ask you this. There's two thoughts or theories. A hit record, is it something that happens fast or something that gets cultivated over time? Because I've heard from ESSO that it should take about 15 minutes sometimes.
Bro,
you know?
I ain't worked on no song. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. When it feel like work, I gotta get the fuck out.
There you go. I told you. It happens fast.
I don't disagree.
The best sessions has been when niggas go in and they catch the vibe and you turn around and you be like, yo, this shit done? That's the record right there.
Because when Clark Kent said Hov came in and did the verse, it fucked Biggie's head up.
Yeah.
The clip that you just
He did
put
it in
out.
15 minutes.
He said Hov walked in, did it, and Big was like, took him 2 months to figure it out.
2 months to write the record.
Right.
So hearing you, your mind is so programmed in an organic way. It's like, all right, drums here, Fab here, da-da-da. All right, guys, see you in 2 weeks.
It's conditioning, though. It took years. There was a time when you sat in the studio and you was like, I need help.
I didn't have a producer when I
Right.
signed a DMX, so like I had to evolve into doing what I'm doing
Went back
right
to
now.
Chicago and looked up his old homeboy just to get a producer. He had
Yeah.
all the money
That
in
type
the
of
world.
So
humility
Boogs
is
taught you this
awesome.
shit?
Now my old homeboy Boogs is Kanye's right-hand man. He's done every fucking song with Kanye. This nigga is one of the richest niggas, most revered niggas, Grammy winner, award winner ever nigga ever. Me and him got plaques together currently today.
Awesome.
So
We
do you
did-
feel like he taught you how to produce?
Yeah, 1,000%.
I say the only thing about this whole story, I can't wait to see the doc when it comes out. The only thing about your story that makes me shake my head in any way
What?
is I hope what people take away from you is the perseverance, the drive. But my pet peeve when it comes to artists is self-inflicted issues. And your story is loaded with
Layered.
self-inflicted
Yeah.
issues. Like from start to whatever.
Yeah.
All self-inflicted things. And I hope, please, if you're watching, don't take that part away from, don't jam yourself
Hell
up.
no, but
Please don't.
We tell this story to provide insight for people because there was no internet when all this shit was going on. This was before all this other stuff or whatever. So everything that niggas seen through my journey, that's why I said it's a testimony. So if you able to watch this and you able to gain some knowledge from this and you gonna spend a little 2 hours that we just sat here doing it, and you won't fuck up and bump your head, like you have a blueprint around you guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To be able to learn from,
Look,
you know?
you got to learn from other people's mistakes because you don't live long enough to make them all
Fact.
yourself.
I mean, speaking
Take
of
that in.
living long, like, did you get a chance to link up with X before he passed away? What did
Hell
that do
yeah.
to you mentally?
Yeah.
Because that like your relationship
That
with...
affected the world.
Because you was little dog.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Man, I think it was right before he passed. Like I seen X at the mall, and in LA at Topanga Mall when I was out there, and he was just like, we just embraced or whatever. Then from there he just had my number, and the nigga just hit me randomly like, yo, where you at? I'm in Atlanta. I need a studio. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna put you with DJ Drama, get you in Mean Streets. I was able to get him in there. Then from there, I came to Atlanta, and we linked up actually at Tip Studio, and we went in and we made some records. I got unreleased records with DMX right now. That's like present right before he passed. And shout out to Tashira and his family. Like they figuring out what they want to do with him, you know, but the songs is done, and it was a full circle moment, and he was really, 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 really proud of me, and I was just so taken back by that because it's kind of like, damn, like full circle moment. Like I'm Iceberg and now you pulling up on me to get a record from me.
Yeah.
From Hitmaker.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Student becomes a master.
Yeah. So I got songs with DMX as Iceberg where I'm rapping on it. I got songs with DMX as Hitmaker where I produced them.
What happened to the puppy?
Man, I got that dog away, man. That motherfucker going crazy.
Oh, man. Well-
what's the thinking on selling your catalog? Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, selling the catalog, like what goes into that? How do you depict the value of it?
You just negotiate. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really like you know what I'm saying? It's business, so it ain't like what I see for myself in business might not be for the next man to see, but you negotiate and you come to a happy medium where y'all can meet in the terms and then shit, you execute the deal.
That. Because you get your royalties, so you know what you're making,
And I
you
only
know
saw
what
the
you're
portion.
getting.
Yeah, I saw the portion.
Yeah,
Only
and
sold
then,
the
and, then,
portion.
and then it's over
Okay.
amount of years. This is what I'm actually gonna make. So y'all niggas need to pay me this, and then they'll come back and be like, "Well, we're not gonna make money off of that."
I think they do it at a multitude of like depending on how you do your deals. So like, say like, I'm just speaking fictitiously or whatever. You know what I'm saying, for somebody else, not me personally. But say like, somebody's a producer, one of your homies, and they last publisher, the last go round, they might have got $1 million for they, you know what I'm saying, publishing deal. And then I think they pay you at like a multitude of like 10. So it might be 10 million.
But you only sold a portion.
Yeah.
And you still make new shit.
This is the beginning of my career. I'm just pressing a reset button right now.
That's why so many people sell their catalogs, because they're still making music. So you can have that old shit, because I got more shit that's going out on the net. I got it on YouTube. I'm monetizing the YouTube now too. So they can just recycle more and more and more shit. To me, it's a smart play, but everybody wants these young black people to keep their masters and all that.
Say your publishing deal, you got 3.5 million, and then somebody say, man, I'm finna drop 40 M's on you.
Peace.
Transition to your next career. Go get you some real estate, Jack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, they keeping that for their family.
And then do music when you want to.
Right.
See, here's the funny part. We just got finished talking to Royce, and Royce's whole thing was ownership. Like, always
Different
own your
mindset.
shit.
It's a different mindset.
Nobody ain't
He want to own his shit so he can sell it at the end of the day. Everybody want to own. There's not one person in the whole world that does not create a business and start it and own it to not sell it.
Right.
No.
I'm telling you.
That's smart people that do that.
Oh, okay.
But there are some people that own the business and treat it like their baby, my
Like their
nigga,
child.
and don't want to sell it. Because I've come to them and been like, sell it. I'm not attached to none of this shit. I created to sell it, and I'm confident in my talent that I'm gonna do this shit again with a bag.
If I make apple bottom jeans, nigga, it's gonna be cherry bottoms the next, nigga. We gonna flip this shit and get the fuck out of here.
And we gonna keep doing it. And I'm gonna keep doing it because y'all fuck with me. I'm gonna keep bringing the bag. As long as y'all fuck with Mav, as long as y'all fuck with us, we can keep doing this shit again if we keep our mind on the prize.
Or not
Stay
even
focused.
us. As long as you fuck with them, the next person you put on.
Got you.
That's your knowledge that you put into that person or whatever for them to bust the next deal. And shit, you get 20% of 20 million, nigga, off of you putting somebody else on, nigga, you get the lay back.
Work. Right. That's love. I want to say shout out to my man King John. He in the building. He's a producer. He's on a rise. He's worked with Fabio. He's worked with
Yeah, he got
a whole
his
host of
catalog,
people.
yeah.
And
Say less.
I like to kind of like join the generations and like,
Hell
have
yeah.
people sit around, gather the knowledge. I know y'all watching, and y'all be like, yo, I learned so much watching this show, and it's entertaining. Yeah, it's the best show on earth, motherfucker.
Yo, you know, I gotta ask, because when I met him, the first time I met him,
Go ahead, we got a couple more controversial
no,
motherfuckers
no,
to get
no,
out.
no.
I gotta get the fuck up out of here.
No. This is
Let's
a
go.
smooth question. It's real cupcake.
Uh-huh.
Top 5 cities with the prettiest women you enjoyed running through.
That is light from him. I'm actually
Is
proud of you.
Toronto up there?
Toronto is number 1 for me.
Is Toronto up there?
In terms,
I'll say Toronto, Houston,
Houston. I know,
Houston.
didn't I
Los
say that?
Angeles, Miami,
Yup.
and New York.
That's
New
the
York.
And then if you like flavor, like if you like one of them niggas that want a Cape Verdean joint or whatever, you want to go up there and find you a little joint in Rhode Island or some shit like that.
Boston,
got Cape Verdean.
So you left Atlanta out of that completely.
I noticed.
I think that Atlanta is just a mixture of all those cities coming to one because everybody just migrates to Atlanta. So I wouldn't say that it was.
You got
like a
Queens
top,
and
you know what I'm
Brooklyn
saying?
and
Like, yeah.
California and Atlanta. You got a lot in Atlanta.
You got third generation strippers in Atlanta.
because Bird done, got so many famous
Crazy.
dudes, baby mothers that is on his resume from back
Oh
in the day.
man, yo, this show's coming to the end.
Again, I commend you, sir.
Yo, thank y'all for
Respect.
having
Thank
me,
you for
man.
sharing your story. We'll be looking forward to
Hitmaker.
the doc. We'll be looking forward to the Neek. Neek is on his way up.
New project.
Be quiet over
Yo,
here.
when we
facts,
dropping?
he
When we
chilling.
dropping?
So we should be dropping like next month. Shit
We
crazy.
mixing the
These
project
Harlem
right now.
niggas is too cool for niggas. I keep
You know
telling
Harlem
y'all.
niggas is cool, bro.
Shout out to Wagner. Shout out to Junior Reed. Shout out to everybody that's been watching. Take these stories in the mind and understand, like, there's nothing's easy that's worth doing. And to get to the biggest situations, you got to take the biggest risks.
And we gonna come back and do part 2 because it's we kind of stopped it like at the beginning of Hitmaker or whatever, like we gotta tell the whole.
There gotta
leading
be
up to
something in the
now.
doc. You can't give hey.
Yeah, you right.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
Why
But
did you stop him from
Nah,
telling us?
I wanna come. I'm gonna come back, but next
do it.
time we gonna let Neek do the talking. I'm gonna sit right there and I'm gonna splash. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Because
I
I
like
wanna get
that.
his
I like
whole
that.
life
Let's
story.
do it.
I like
Because
that
I need
idea.
that whole vibe for real.
That's dope.
No, let's do it.
That's dope.
Appreciate y'all.
Part 2 on the way.
It's hot for trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.